What's going on, everybody? Welcome to National Signing Day. We decided to do a special for you guys. Thanks for everybody on the social media. It did really, really good. Over 10,000 plus impressions. So shout out to you guys. We're excited to be here with you, man. We're going to have some really great guests today. KJ Smith, who's going to join us momentarily. Got to send him a quick text. We have Jamari Space Ghost McIvory on as well, who went to or signed with Northern Illinois. He had a really great season for Savannah Christian. We're going to have on also Jordan Van Bry, who will be going to Grambling State. And then we're going to also have on Jonesboro and their coaching staff as well to talk about today. But Craig, how you feeling, man? One of the best days, I think, in the sport. What's your thoughts?
Feeling good, and I think just the guests you mentioned, these are some gems. Absolutely. KJ Smith, Roswell's all-time leading passer, and I'm excited to have him on. I had a great time in the early signing day period. These guys have been waiting for this day, and I'm ready to get it started.
Now you're gonna be at the last because last
Yeah.
time we went 4 hours. So I mean we're gonna cut a little bit shorter. We're gonna do about 2 hours now, but you're gonna be all right the last two.
I'll be
Last
good.
time was long.
That was a marathon, but anyone that checked it out, it was amazing. Catching up with Joe Wilkinson on lots of great players, great conversations. I'm excited to just see what these guys are looking to do at the next level and just get this special day behind them.
No doubt. Well, let's go ahead and bring on KJ Smith of Roswell. He will be at UNK. What's going on, KJ?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you coming on the show, man. Man, just really blessed
Appreciate
to
you.
have you on here. Yes, sir, man. I mean, you were a lot of fun to watch this year, man. So obviously we'll talk about the process and everything. But man, just recap real quick, man. Just your senior year, what you enjoyed the most, being at Roswell, playing at a high level, making the playoffs, making a deep run. Just what was your favorite thing, favorite takeaway from this year, man?
Well, first off, thank you for having me on the show. Starters. My favorite part of the season was probably just the locker room. Being in there every day in and day out with those guys. Like, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss that the most out of everything else. Just going in there day in and day out, putting in the work, the long days, the long hours. It made Friday nights even more fun at the well, man. That's what I'm gonna miss the most.
And for people that maybe watched Roswell play this season, what were some of the all-time like records you set? I think there's a game you threw like 7 or 8 touchdowns. Walk us through some of those big moments.
I broke the record for the most passing touchdowns in the game, as well as the most career touchdowns and career passing touchdowns, as well as the career yards. And I mean for the 7 touchdown game, it was really like I didn't do much to get the ball to my playmakers. That for all of the touchdowns, I'm giving the ball to my playmakers. I want to see them eat. I want to see them win. I want to see them put on the highlight tape. Let me throw a screen real quick. You go take it 75, and we in the end zone scoring. That's how that game. That's how that game really wins. Like, hey, I'm gonna throw you a hitch. You go get busy. I'll meet you in the end zone. You got playmakers. You don't got to do a lot. And Roswell has so many playmakers this year. That's why I was saying it was a blessing. Like offense, defense, special teams. It was just a blessing. Everybody wanted to make plays.
Yeah, we do the scoreboard each Friday. People had to double check to make sure some of those results you guys are putting up in the 60s. But one of the things that I've noticed, KJ, is you've got a really personal relationship with your receivers. If you see that maybe they cut a route short or you guys weren't on the same page, you like to correct the play right then and there. So talk about how important that is just as a quarterback to have that relationship with your receivers where you're demanding the best out of them.
It's not even me just demanding the best out of them. They're demanding the best out of me. So I know that I'm gonna give them my all, and they're gonna give me the same thing in return. And if I cut a corner, they're gonna tell me like, "Hey, I need this ball outside shoulder if we want a touchdown." I'm like, "Cool, next ball gonna be outside shoulder." Same, vice versa. When it's a route, it's like, "Hey, we got grass here. Let's take it. Let's not be robotic. Let's have fun. Like, let's look to score." So when it's like we looking to score, it may look like, "Oh yeah, we correcting it right now," but it's like, "Hey, we got grass. We got something we like. Let's take it." That's really what it was instead of it just being like, nah, you running the wrong route. Like, you got to do this, that, and the third. It's like, nah, I see a touchdown. You see a touchdown. Let's get a touchdown. Let's get paid. And it was just the off-season work. Like, that was just time spent on the off-season, day in and day out, the extra long hours I was speaking about earlier. So I know where you're going to be at when something happens. And you know where I'm going to put the ball when something happens. So let's be on the same page. That's all that was.
And then KJ, talk a little bit about your ability. I think you impressed a lot of folks with just your ability to be able to run and escapability, right? Sometimes you would face a lot of pressure, but you were able to extend the play and you would make a dime throw down the field, right? You would hit your receiver in stride, touchdown, you let them do what they do. So talk a lot about that part of your game and how excited you are to play with that on the next level.
First of all, I mean the O line don't get enough credit. You'll turn on the highlights tape and it's like, oh, you just scrape them around. No, my O line was beautiful. They did let me get touched. So then when that instinct just kicks in, it turned into an instinct thing. Like, hey, we making a play, we having fun. It's backyard football, and I feel like our guys we work that in practice. We work scramble drill in practice weekly because that's something we just were good at naturally. It's like, hey, something breaks down, receivers know, hey, we having fun now. Oh, forget the concept. Let's have fun. That's what it just turned into. Like here at Roswell, it was just let's have fun. Oh, something broke down. Oh, let's have fun. You got O linemen running out. Hey, let me know if you're running. Let me know if you're running so they can go downfield and get a block. You got running backs cutting back. Like, oh, I'm open here, giving them the ball. It could be a 3-yard game. But like I said, give it to the playmakers. Let them eat. That's what they're here for. Let them eat.
No doubt. And then KJ, I know you also participated in the Georgia Elite Classic. So kind of talk about how that experience was for you, what you enjoyed most, just being there at Rome and kind of having that last All-Star game per se, in high school and being able to play out there with some of the best talent in the state.
What I enjoy most is the off the field. Just bonding with people you never met before. Like I was hanging out with the coffee running back and coffee receiver, Fred Brown and Pat McCall. I was hanging out with them. I never think I'd be in a room with somebody from Coffee County. And we going to Chick-fil-A, we chilling, we kicking it. And I'm like, yeah, this is the best part. You build those relationships with people you never thought you'd come across with. That was definitely the best part.
No doubt.
No, I love the Georgia Elite Classic. I'm repping it right here, but it's such a fun few days just getting to yeah, as you said, meet new players. But you mentioned how close the Roswell team was in the locker room. We remember, I think it would have been your sophomore year. You guys had that dramatic win over North Cobb. You guys deal with the Robbie Roper situation, and then you guys had a really important role in just keeping that Roswell standard, staying focused. But I feel like that brought you guys together. So how close was that Roswell team just the last few years?
I feel like our bond was really good when I came in as a freshman. Like having a great locker room was something that's kind of just been tradition. And once Rob passed, rest his soul, it just made us even tighter. It made us like, oh, we have some. It's something bigger than ourselves. Like everybody has their personal why, but when your team has one why together, it just takes it to a different level. It takes the work ethic to a different standard. And I feel like my junior year, my senior year, it was living like five. That's the mantra. That's what we're like. Me and my we say it all the time. Every drive is for five, and it's just keeping that in the back of your head, like it's bigger than yourself. Bring your team together, and it's also our team lives day by day instead of thinking weeks and years in advance. Like, of course, you plan things out or whatever, but we're living where our feet are. That's what our OC tells us all the time. That's what our head coach tells us all the time. Live where your feet are, and I feel like that's what we really embody, which is why we became such a close brotherhood the last 2 years.
I got to ask you about Dylan Williams. He was one of my favorite receivers to
My
see
dog.
some of the catches he made. And what someone pointed out during the Milton game, it was on the defensive side. They're like, he's not the fastest, but the way he's able to catch contested balls and just get up there and make those incredible plays. What was it like just you and Dylan's relationship at Roswell?
Dylan's a technician. He, like you said, he's not the fastest, but he's stronger than you. He can run step for step with you, and if he's even, he's the only person coming down with the ball. Him playing with him made my job so much easier because it was a safety valve. Things if you knew something, if you were confused about something, go give the ball to one. One gonna make a play. Put the ball in one hand. I mean, it was just, but that was the time we spent since eighth grade being in the lab together. That's the off season when nobody's watching and he's making ridiculous one-handed catches like it's nothing. Pre-game and practice, it's a movie with him. Everything he's trying to do is catching it with one hand. We like Dylan catch it with two. He's like, all right, then catch it with his left hand, one-handed. I'm like, hey, bro, like, what you doing? He's like, I mean, you threw the ball, but I caught it. I'm like, hey, go ahead. I call him Dr. Snag because he catches everything. So
That's right. I say he makes spectacular catches routinely. Like, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. He had one at the 7-on-7 at Tech. It was the best catch I've seen all year. Yeah, the game winner.
That was disgusting. But that's what I'm saying. Just put it where one can get it, and he's gonna come down with it. It makes my job a whole lot easier. But that goes back to what I was saying. Trust your playmakers. Let your playmakers make plays.
No doubt, KJ. And then I want to ask, man, just talk a little bit about the relationship you was able to build with Nebraska Kearney. I know that's where you're going to go to school. That's where you're signing. But talk about the initial relationship you built with them. I know you started to kind of get a lot of offers coming in. How did that kind of start with you? And just talk about the relationship you were able to build with the coaching staff and then the QB coach as well.
So with Coach Held and Coach Held being the head coach, Coach Ellis being the OC quarterback coach, it was a slow process. It was a slow, like, wine and dine, old school dating type of process. And like that's my type of style. I don't like to just jump into things or, like just take the first thing that shows. It's like I want to take my time, get to know you, get to see how you really are as a person. Is this the person I'm getting day in and day out? Things of that nature. So as that relationship began to build, it was just like it just meshed. It just meshed perfectly. And then when I took my official, like I said, it was nice, smooth, wine and dine. Like I said before, it was my type of style. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna flash you, flatter you, woo, woo, woo. Like, hey, this is me. This is who we are. This is what we're trying to do. We want you to be a part of that. And that's what I fell in love with. I fell in love with the culture. Go Priest. I fell in love with the coach.
No doubt. And if you had to say, KJ, what part are you most looking forward to being able to play with your team on the next level and being able to play in a college atmosphere? Man, just kind of describe that a little bit. What you most looking forward to?
What I'm looking forward to the most is connecting with the guys I've already been connecting with, like actually being on campus with them. Because we got our 24 class is pretty loaded. We got 20 plus signees. So we're pretty loaded, and we starting to get really tight over the phone. So I know we all just keep talking about like how we can't wait to finally just be with each other and go to war with each other. So that's what I'm really looking forward to in road games. I want to walk into somebody else's spot and take over their crib, like road games.
No doubt.
That's the fun part.
No doubt. And then KJ, I want to ask you too. I mean, I always felt, and we've had a discussion before, that you were just an underrated player here in the state, but you always played at an optimal level, at a high level, never, always ask the best of yourself and your teammates. But I want to ask you, what would you tell kids kind of just with similar stories to yours, right? They are underrated, but you continue to put in the work every day. Every time you want a spotlight, you shine. What would you tell them about just the recruiting process and what they should keep in mind and the important parts of it when selecting a school that they're going to spend the next 3 to 4 years with?
I would really just say the cream always rises to the top. So even if you may not be getting what you deserve, trust the process. The process is the most important part. It's the best part, in my opinion. The grind is the best part. If you love the grind, everything else will take care of itself. This game of football will bless you if you love the grind and truly take care of what you can control. Control your controllables, and the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah, film speaks for itself, and definitely the numbers. We talked about the record-setting performances you had, but you were mentioning like the details with the back shoulders and throwing your receivers open. How comfortable are you just doing that at the next level?
I'll be extremely comfortable when I get in the lab with my guys. You got to learn everybody's speed. You got to learn where they like the ball. You got to learn what they like to do on certain coverages. So it's gonna be a new learning experience, but it's gonna take work. I'm gonna feel really good, really comfortable about it a couple months from now. But as of right now, it's like, all right, we gotta relearn, we gotta reteach, we gotta rebuild that bond. You gotta find that juice with every receiver again. So it's like I'm gonna feel comfortable if you ask me that question a couple months from now. So I can spin back to that in a couple months.
For sure. And then individually, what kind of quarterback coach have you worked with to help you get to this level? And obviously, the college schedule is going to be a little different, but in these next few months, what's the game plan?
So I'm currently training with Sean McAvoy at QB Takeover, as well as Ron Veal at QB Collective. We work hand in hand. And the plan this offseason is get back to the basics. Make the fundamentals, make the basics basic. Don't miss no layups. That's what I like to say. Make the easy throws easy, and the Superman plays they're gonna happen on its own. You don't have to be Superman. So it's just getting back to the basics, getting really good at the things I'm not that good at. So understanding your weaknesses and then making them into strengths, so you can be an all-around player and getting that weight room. That's all.
Now, I wanted you to kind of expound on that. I wanted to ask you kind of your timeline, KJ, because you just mentioned what you're going to work on this offseason. But right now, we're in signing day, right? So, how does that look for you? I know you're still going to have classes and school stuff like that. How does the next couple of months look for you, as far as this, getting your nutrition right, your weight training right, formulating a plan that's going to make you ready to go as soon as you leave for campus and for school?
Me and my parents, I call them my agents. We began to put together a pretty good plan on balancing training with DSA, training with Coach Sean and Coach Ville, and making sure I get my meals in so I'm ready to go. And then I'm lifting with our strength coach at Roswell, who's top of the line. So I'm making sure I'm getting my lifting, making sure I'm getting my pumping every day, getting that protein in me. So just trying to be as prepared as you can be, because you're never truly prepared for college until you get there. So be as mentally prepared as you can be, because physically you're never gonna be as prepared as you think you are. But mentally, you can prepare yourself for that level. So that's what I'm really focused on, the mental aspect, like the mental toughness over the next few months.
And then I want to ask you, far as when is kind of your leave date? When will you officially be going in and enrolling in the program? Will it be the summer? Will it be, a little bit towards the end of the summer? How does that kind of look for you?
It'll be the beginning of summer. It'll be the first, second week of June. I'll be up there in Nebraska, sweating,
Yeah.
In the hot sun?
hot sun, blood, sweat, and tears, ready for them cold winters.
Oh yeah, no, it's hot as heck in the summer and freezing cold in the winter. That's how it is. My family's from Missouri, similar weather. But I know when you're training with Ron, there's things you can do individually, but you're obviously going to have receivers out there in these workouts also. So it's a two-parter. One, who are you going to continue to work out with? And then when you look at Roswell next season, these underclassmen, who's the guy that you're ready to see ball out next year?
Mm. Can you say the first question again? I'll get to the roster.
Are you going to be able to work out with any receivers in the local area with Ron in the next couple months?
Um, yes, the receiver I want to work out with the most is my younger brother. He's coming in. He'll be a freshman next year. So I'm trying to get his hands right, make sure he's ready to go. That's the receiver I'm looking forward to working out with. And then from a Roswell perspective, we got a lot of dogs, a lot of underrated dogs. That's all I'm gonna say. You're just gonna have to comment. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna
All
say.
right. So, yeah, Roswell's going nowhere.
Hey, KJ, what's your brother's name? So we know.
Sean Smith, class of 2028.
Okay, Sean Smith. So that's a name to know. And I wanted to ask you too, just speak a little bit about just the relationship with Ronville. He obviously coaches up some of the best quarterbacks to ever come through the state. I believe it's Justin Fields, Trevor. Like he has a winning formula of getting guys, to play on the next level and the next level after that. So talk about impact he's had on you and how cool it is working with him, on a daily or how often you do during the week.
Coach Ron, he's been more. Yes, he's a trainer, but he's been more of a mentor to me. He's been more like, I'm calling him after games, like, hey, I'm struggling with this. Like, what you think? What would you do in this situation? Being that easy shoulder to call, and he'll call me after he sees the game. He's like, hey, what happened? And then we can sit down on the phone. It may be a 10-minute conversation. It may be a 30-minute conversation. But it's just being able to know that you got somebody in your corner that you can just bounce ideas off, or here's how I would do it. Since he's been there, he's been in the position, he's done it at a high level. So it's really a respect thing. As in, like, okay, like, he believes in me, he gives me belief in myself. And like I said, he's just been a really great mentor to me.
No doubt. And then I want to ask you, playing the quarterback position, KJ, what do you think is the most important qualities like you got to have, right? You mentioned about the mental aspect of it being more important than you believe the physical, but what are some key qualities, traits you got to have to play this position at a high level, whether that is on high school level or even college and beyond?
Mental toughness, and you gotta have that dog. You gotta have that heart. You can be 6'6" with no heart. You can be 5'4" with a ton of heart. I mean, you look at the 49ers, Deebo Samuel got the most heart on the team. He coming out first play trying to crack back somebody. Like, if you don't have that heart, you can't play this position, because there's going to be highs, there's going to be lows. It's how do you handle the pressure? How do you turn pressure into no pressure? So if you don't have that dog and that heart, you can't play this position at a high level, especially not Georgia high school football, college football. You're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, and I was honestly really impressed. even in the Georgia Elite Classic, because in that game, I mean, the offensive line was struggling. They were not protecting you well, but you didn't complain. You stayed out there. I thought you were probably the biggest name in the senior game, but I think that toughness really showed in that game. So I give you a ton of credit for that because that was not easy.
I mean, it was fun. I mean, I signed up for it, so I'm gonna sit back there and do my due diligence. You know, tell the O line they got it. They're gonna pick it up next play.
Yep. Absolutely. And then the next level, the balance between class, football, the season. I mean, how prepared do you think you are for that? Just dealing with everything you had to do with the recruiting process and just being the guy at Roswell.
I feel like I'll be pretty prepared as long as you keep the main thing the main thing. I'll be pretty prepared, and I feel like I'm gonna keep the main thing the main thing. And I got a great foundation from family and coaches and teammates and former players I can lean on if I ever have a question. I feel like that's the best part about coming to a place like Roswell. You can call a Kobe Cumberland. You can hit up Jordan Tucker, ask for some advice. So I feel like things like that, Sheldon Evans, a Machine Slade, you got people here that want to see you win and want to see you succeed, which I feel like makes our program so special. So I feel like I'll be pretty prepared going in there, keeping the main thing the main thing.
Okay, Jay, we got a couple more. We'll let you go, man. Just tell us a little bit about your relationship with Coach Pruitt, man, and how cool that was just being up under him. I see the smile on your face, man. I know he resonates with players very, very well. I've talked to a couple players in the Roswell program, and they rave about him as a coach. So just talk a little bit about that in your relationship.
CP the best, man, because what makes CP so special is he can relate to every single person on that team. He can find something to relate to you about, whether you're the guy or whether you're the 100th guy. He can find something to relate to you about. And he also taught me it's better to tell people what they need to hear instead of what they want to hear. They may be mad at you for a little bit, but they needed it. You know, but it's also knowing when to pick somebody up. That's what I feel like I really learned from CP. That's my dog. That's my dog.
No doubt, no doubt. And then I want to ask this, my final one. I throw it to Craig. What was just your favorite? It could be a game, it could be a road trip. What was your favorite memory from this year, man? I mean, you guys played a lot of great opponents, man. You guys played a lot of thrilling games. What was your favorite memory from this season, man?
From this season?
From this season, yes, sir.
Watching Dylan Williams break the receiving touchdown record because he went off and had 3 touchdowns and 150 yards that game. And he had a breakaway touchdown and people said he had no speed. So he had a breakaway touchdown and he broke somebody's ankles and he had 150 yards and he broke the record the same night and it was a playoff game. That was special.
Top tier, man.
Nah, that was the one for sure.
No doubt.
Yeah, I never understood the speed thing, but that was coming from some of the players. I guess, yeah, there's 40 time, but then there's on the field speed. There's a reason.
Dylan got game speed. Dylan has game speed, and it's game strength. You got to be able to. He can outbody you.
Yeah, you guys did it to Walton in the scrimmage. Also, I know he completely tore them up. They said he made. Yeah, you guys dominated that one. What are your plans this weekend for the Super Bowl?
It's a good one.
Speaking of Walton, my best friend plays DB there, so I'll be at his house. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's committed to Air Force. He's actually signed to Air Force. But I'll be at his house. You say it again?
Is that Tyson?
Yeah, Tyson McCrary.
McCrary, that's what I thought. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll be at his house when we watch the Super Bowl, chilling, cheering on Mahomes.
Oh, so you're going with the Chiefs?
Mahomes is the best.
Oh my gosh. Come on, KJ.
I'm a Chiefs fan.
I love the Purdy underdog story though. But Mahomes is the best.
God. Are you a Chiefs fan or are you just going for the Chiefs?
I'm a Mahomes fan.
All right. I have to deal with enough of it at the office, you know. He's a Chiefs fan, so I gotta always deal with it. I'm a Bengals fan, so
I mean,
it's tough, but
real cold now. Joe Shiesty cold now.
No doubt. No doubt. We got to just keep them healthy, man. That's the problem. If we can keep them healthy, I think we got a shot.
100%.
No doubt. Well, KJ, man, that's all we got for today. I really appreciate you coming on, man. I know you're a busy guy, and yes, sir. I appreciate you reaching out, man, and just coming on the show and making this National Signing Day of our show special, man. So shout out to you, and we will be in touch and contact, man. We're gonna bring you back on. We want to keep that relationship going, even though you're in college. We want you to come back on the show that we do on Tuesday. So I'm gonna be in touch, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. Always stay blessed.
Yes, sir.
Congrats,
man.
Thank you,
yes, sir. All right, guys. So that was KJ Bolden, man. Excuse me, KJ Smith. Forgive me. Seen his name so much. I said Bolden. KJ Smith, man, outstanding quarterback from the Roswell Hornets. Got to see him a lot this past season, man. Got to call one of his games and be there when they played against Milton. Got to see him at media day as well. So a special player, man, and really appreciate him coming on and just sharing a little bit of his time and talking about the Hornets and obviously the Lopers. I know it's gonna be a lot of fun to watch his story.
Yeah, he's a just great personality. I don't expect him to change at all, but if he comes to campus with that attitude, I think the players are going to gravitate towards it. He comes from Roswell, playing big-time football, not just sending guys to the college level. They populate all these NFL rosters. KJ stepped into the spotlight, did his thing, set all the records, and I think he's going to be a steal.
And my last thing is I love his mentality, right? It's not all about me. You can go through the interview. We just talked to him. He's talking about his teammates, talking about his offensive line, he's talking about his coordinators, his coaching, his QB coach. Like, he didn't put the praise on himself. So you love that when you see that from players and giving the appreciation and praise to others. So that's what stood out to me, man. A phenomenal player. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Yep. And we'll see how good Roswell is next year. It looks like they still are going to have some exciting young players, but certainly they're going to miss KJ at quarterback.
No doubt. And for the 5 people tuning in, man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube channel, and make sure y'all hit the question box below. Drop a comment, any questions you want us to ask the players for today, or any questions you have for us on the National Signing Day special. Let us know. Appreciate y'all tuning into the show. All right. So let's keep it going. We do have Jonesboro should be coming on here in just a little bit. But I know, Craig, you wanted to share the screen real quick and talk about shorter football. So we'll talk about that just for a second until Coach comes on. I know you wanted to give them a highlight. Not a lot of people are talking about them, but they did get a lot of Georgia players. So we're going to share the screen with you guys really quickly. Here it is.
Coach Morris.
Oh, and here is Coach Morris, Shorter University football coach, Coach Morrison. Of Hawk Nation. So as you can see right here, and this is all the talent they got. But Craig, I know you had pointed out some guys. What stands out to you?
Yeah, so this signing day, not so much as early signing day, but the actual one, this is huge for the West Georgias, the Shorters, all the smaller schools within the state to really build their future. And you look at Shorter, they've got some really exciting pieces. I think one of the more intriguing ones is Sky Niblett, the tight end. Son of Josh Niblett, he was an absolute touchdown machine. Really stepped up as their primary receiver this last year. The jump from his junior to senior season was amazing. Huge red zone threat, tough kid. If you've seen pictures of Josh, they're pretty intense, and you can tell they're gym rats. So I think he's going to be a major contributor. He's a great piece of that class, but it's a big day for Shorter, and you can go check out their Twitter account, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces. They did really well with Hall County, getting a lot of West Hall guys, Sumter County, some out-of-state guys, Jonesboro right there.
Donovan McCoy. We're going to have their coaching staff on here in just a second. But as Craig pointed out, I mean, a lot of guys, Robert Toombs right here, David Wavy, Chris County. I know you're very high on them, Craig. Ladarius Smith. A couple guys from Alabama and Florida. Obviously, we just talked about Sky Niblett, another Alabama. And I like this one too. Devin Forrester of Buford going there to the program. A really standout offensive lineman. Another guy from Robert Toombs, Landon Saws as well.
Yep, and a lot of guys from Alabama, as you mentioned. I think Trinity Christian Florida also, but it's exciting. Anytime, I'm obviously biased. I like my Georgia high school football, but seeing a team just get guys from all over the state, some big programs too, the Bufords, the Gainesvilles, coming together. It's an exciting class, and Shorter's done a phenomenal job, and excited to see them.
No doubt. We do have one more while we're waiting for Coach to join on. I did want to bring up West Georgia, as Craig mentioned, another really, really good school. I think they did a really good job with as far as getting guys on. Let's see if I can find, because I've seen a bunch of Georgia guys going there. See if we can find it for you guys real quick. Here we go. So a big thing about this too is now they're officially D1. They weren't before, but now they're in a new conference as well. So I mean, very, very excited for them. And this is the big one right here. The guy we've always been high on. This is the one we wanted to highlight. Hometown hero. He's right down the street at Carrollton. Bryce Hicks. Unfortunately, ended up. I don't know if he broke his leg, but had a really significant injury the first game of the year against Langston Hughes. I mean, we raved about this kid so much. We thought if he went in there and had a big game, he could have some major offers. So unfortunately got hurt. But this is rewarding to see him go right down the street to West Georgia from Carrollton. And I think he'll be a nice player for them.
Yeah, and for people that remember, Juju obviously reclassified, but his freshman season, they went 14-0 before falling to Mill Creek. Bryce Hicks was arguably the co-MVP of that team. Played absolutely massive roles, and he was versatile. He could catch if they needed to. If the opponent was stacking the box, he played defense also. But you look at the Colquitt game, that's what impressed me the most. They went down there. He took 27 carries, over 200 yards. That was the big semifinal victory. So he had one of the best junior seasons ever, gets hurt right away. And so I think that limited his potential ceiling in the recruiting world. But West Georgia is obviously right next to Carrollton.
Yep.
And so he's able to stay in that town. I think he's going to be that like hometown hero at West Georgia. Huge get right there.
And still he can come in the offseason, go work out at Carrollton, and he'd be like, oh, this is Bryce Hicks coming back through the school and to show the kids and what they need to do in order to kind of perform at a high level. I think this is like you said, I think this is a steal for the West Georgia program. I think he's going to bring a lot of versatility to the program offensively, and everybody's going to see it.
Yeah, and one more thing I'll say about him, talking to people that are super fans of the Carrollton program, they said before the senior year, they said thought he might have a chance to be one of the best players to ever come through Carrollton. And also it was his toughness at football practice. At practice, you always have these drills where you can match up with a guy from a different position. Bryce, didn't matter who it was. He was the toughest guy on the field, has that attitude, and he is physical. He's built for this, and he's going to have a great impact.
No doubt. Well, let's see. It was a couple more Georgia players that got signed up, but we wanted to point him out. We think he's a star right there. Oh, this is big right here. I was trying to get it out of him, see where he was going to go, but another big one, John Cena is, I think, one of the better receivers in the state. He will be signing today at 2:30, but this is big time right here. He is also signed to West Georgia. I think he's going to add a different dynamic to their offense as well.
Yeah, he looked pretty much unguardable all season long. He was reliable. He was the game changer in every game. Even the first one, Walton has the big lead. Grayson's got to get something going. He breaks the big play. As you mentioned, he was the first 1,000-yard receiver in Grayson history.
Hard to believe.
And that's incredible. That is, two players right there that I think are criminally underrated.
No doubt about it. So that was the next one. Then we had a Mobile, Alabama. Then another big defensive lineman, Courtney Kelly from Carver Columbus High School, had a really good year. 27 tackles for loss and 12 sacks. They will have that at the defensive line position. He was another big one. That's Alabama.
Jarvis Jones, old school.
No doubt. This was another big one. Jaquan Bentley from Upson Lee High School. He's another big-time playmaker for the backfield. So they're going to have him and Bryce Hicks coming in. That is Tennessee. Then they also added Region Player of the Year All-State selection, Andrew Dixon from Worth County High School, another big-time defensive lineman for their program. That is big-time as well. And then there was another big one. Let's see, Trayshawn Moore, safety from Appleton County High School. He's also will be at West Georgia. Then he had Lennon Libbard of McIntosh, which I think is going to be an interesting school to watch next year. 6'4", 285, has a really good frame. He will officially be at West Georgia as well. And I think that was Coach that just came on. So without further ado, let's see if we can go ahead and get him on. We will share and talk more about this later. All right, let's see if we got him.
You don't want to move the camera down. Like up here. Oh, yes.
Yeah, you right there.
Oh, he's talking about, oh yeah, it could show up on the background. Yeah, that's on camera.
Okay. I think they're still adjusting it. So we'll wait a couple of moments as well. There's another big one. Was it Jakai Horton from Cedar Grove? You brought him up as
Yes,
well
sir.
going to West Georgia. What were your thoughts on him? I mean, I think he's a dynamic weapon for them and a really outstanding player.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of these guys, the recruiting is so different than it used to be. It's like some of these guys picked up all their offers before their senior season even started. It's been dormant a little bit, but I mean, for the West Georgia Shorters, the smaller schools within the state, this is prime opportunities for them to come in, and they've obviously had these guys on their radar for a long time. But it's like, okay, now's the day we finally lock him down. But yeah, the recruiting process for him, he had most of his offers back in March of 2023.
No doubt about it. Well, all right, guys, without further ado, going to bring on the Jonesboro program. Let's go ahead and bring them on, one of the better programs in the state. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Not much. What's going on, Coach, man? We really appreciate y'all coming on the show today and just allowing us to talk to some of you guys and obviously your athletes. I know it is a crazy day. So, Coach, I do want to kind of bring on Coach Carmine, Coach Syrup, and the head coach. How is today for you guys usually? What does it kind of entail?
So I'm Coach Floyd, head coach here, and Coach Carmichael, our recruiting coordinator. So we kind of have a ceremony for the players and the current players and the players that signing at 9 o'clock. Then 4 o'clock we invite family members. Some have to work, so we give them a chance to go to work and then come in. We have another celebration, and it's just a really exciting day.
Yes, sir. And then, Coach, just tell me some of the players you have with you today.
Right now we have Reese Peterson, D lineman just signed to Albany State, and O lineman Robert Early just signed to Johnson C. Smith.
Gotcha, Coach. What were some things? Just talk about their games a little bit, Coach. What they meant to this team this year, a team that's I think moving in the right direction and doing big things. Talk a little bit about them and the impact they had on your group this year.
Well, I'll start with Cerise. I'm on the defensive side of the ball. Cerise was a defensive lineman, defensive tackle for us. And, I mean, it had a huge impact. One of the leaders on the front seven of the defense demanded double teams. If you didn't double team, he was going to be disruptive. It just made great plays at the right moments throughout the entire season, especially some of those big third and fourth down plays. And late in the season that really kind of helped us get to the playoffs.
We got Robert Early. He's played with us for 3 years. He was a 2-year starter. This year he was a leader of the O line. A guy we depended on to run behind. We knew that coming behind him we was gonna get a few extra yards. So he played big this year. We just added in running back Donovan McCoy. He just signed to Shorter, and Justin Hill. He just signed to University of Charleston.
And if you can, Coach, just talk a little bit about Donovan McCoy. We were just going through Shorter and some of the guys they signed from Georgia, a lot of guys, and we've seen Donovan McCoy. So what did you just like about him just as a player on the field and also off the field, Coach? And what do you think he'll bring to that program at Shorter?
So I believe Donovan is a quiet beast. He gonna put in the work. He's humble. He's gonna do anything that he needs to do to beat that person in front of him. He comes with crazy speed. I mean, track speed that you just can't knock. So he's gonna be something to watch.
Then Coach Syrup, I know before the season started, you guys held a media day. This recruiting process, it really has been all season long. I see some of these players, they're getting 20 plus offers, but how has it been just today's signing day, but in the last few weeks? Has the class shaped up in the previous weeks, or is it something that just came together in recent days?
So the recent time where with the contact period has been crazy and hectic. We've had coaches in and out. These guys also have multiple offers and everything, but it's been real crazy. I mean, coach after coach after coach.
And I can say over the past couple of weeks, they kind of had some things going on, so it wasn't really a thing at the end where they kind of had to jump onto something. So they they've been kind of highly recruited throughout the entire process as well.
And then you guys will be having this ceremony at 4 o'clock today. It looks like, is this something you guys have done each year? Is this year going to be bigger because of the class? How many guys are you going to have there?
We have it usually every year. We, like the coach said, we do the signing facts in the morning, and then the ceremonies for the families and stuff that have to work in the morning. So we usually do it every year.
And then talk a little bit about this last season, because I mean, you looked at the schedule, you guys knew it was going to be tough, but you guys showed up, big wins over Dutchtown, the dramatic win over Glenn Academy in the playoffs. I mean, how successful, just as the Jonesboro program, do you think this season was, just building towards those goals you guys have been working on?
It was huge, especially those tough non-region games we had with Dutchtown and Cartersville. They prepared us for our region schedule and moving on into the playoffs. I think having those games really get you ready for a game like Glenn Academy. It was a great environment. The guys showed up. We were ready to play, and I think it all came from that experience. And it had been a while since we advanced past the first round, so this was huge for reaching some of those goals we had and kind of pushing us with a little momentum to get ready for the next season.
And then, Coach, as a follow-up to Craig's question, I do want to ask you a little bit about, obviously, we didn't ask about your other player, Hill, so I want you to expand on him just a little bit, Coach. And then as a side to that, second question to that, talk about the impact these four in the room have just had on your group and your program, just being able to establish that already. You guys already had a great culture, but being able to kind of be those leaders and be able to show the guys that are coming up, the 25s, the 26, the 27s, what it takes to kind of be a great football team.
So Justin Hill is a guy that's been in the program for 4 years. He's a defensive lineman. I played with a lot of a high motor. And that was really his strength. So, although he may get defeated on the block, but he played with such effort, he was able to make up some of that stuff because of the effort he played with. They have really good speed, I'll say, also on the defensive line. But having these four, in the program, they led their position groups, their respective position groups, to the point where, all right, your group, we could go to them. You need to get your group ready to go. Coach gave you the instructions. Now it's on you to make sure your group, your position group, is ready to go. And I think they did a pretty good job with that. And I'm just looking forward to following them over the next few years to see what's good. Well, I think that's going to be very productive at the next level also.
No doubt, Coach. And then the players itself, I want to ask it to you guys, just, to kind of answer, what was just y'all favorite thing about this season? You guys can go just, one after each other. But what was your favorite part about this season, playing with your team, being a Jonesboro Cardinal?
I enjoyed Coach Floyd, Coach C, all the coaches just helping me, pushing me grow as a player and as a person off the field, and the team, everybody played together. It was like a family, big family.
I like the flow from the 2022 season to this season now. The bounce back we really had, you know what I mean? And it's like the big wins, those big wins we're talking about, the Dutchtown, the Glenn Academy. I really just I love hard fought games where it's like very close and we come out on top. I just, I enjoy the thrill. It feels good.
I enjoy the bond we had as a team, how we worked together, how we came together when things got rough and got hard, how we pushed each other, keep going and fight.
And I enjoyed the how we came together from last year and from the record we had and build up to what we got now, and how we won the first round in the playoffs, and it just gave some more for the program to do in the future.
Certainly. And then Coach Syrup, I want to ask you, because I think you do a magnificent job. I'm going to throw it to Craig after this question. Talk about just kind of your ins and outs, Coach. I think you do a really good job of putting your players on this platform and getting more coaches to come out to Jonesboro and really allowing them to get really good offers coming in and putting the spotlight on them. Just talk about Your job in that, coach, and it's being a great mentor for these kids and allow them to go chase their dreams on the next level.
So with my job, being that person in the middle, like gotta give the kids exposure. I mean, it's kids everywhere, you know, then with the portal and everything. So you gotta push the kids, push the kids, push the kids. They working out, I retweet. They posting film or retweeting, you know, anything just to get them exposure and get them in front of the eyes of coaches, you know, and then also constantly, you know, contacting the coaches. You know, I get texts from coaches all the time, like, Coach, thank you for reminding me, you know, I forgot. So just those constant reminders, and then they, you know, finally check the film. Okay, yeah, we like this kid, and then, you know, go from there.
And then, Coach Syrup, obviously, this is a big day for these seniors. Sign their letter of intent. That's kind of ends a long journey they've had in this process. But in terms of the recruiting cycle overall, it looks like Jonesboro is just going to pick right up, and you got the underclassmen. So, is it really a year-round deal just to get your kids out there and make these connections?
Oh, I'm always working. Today is, you know, their day for 2024. 2025, we look to do the same thing. And 2026, we look to do the same thing, and so on and so forth.
And then how many total Jonesboro guys do you estimate will be on college rosters this upcoming season?
See, we have 7 signing today. We got a few still out there. I can say between 10, let's say 10 and 15.
That's solid. Yeah, that's getting it done.
It's probably more than that, but just off the top of my head, probably 10 to 15.
Very nice. Then, in terms of this senior class, I mean, what were some of the things that you guys kind of ingrained in their heads just heading into their first varsity seasons to be able to realize this dream and get an opportunity to play on the next level?
Some things we put in their head, like they say, the difference from last year to this year. We know we didn't want to have a season like we had last year, so it was on them as seniors to change that mindset and change that look. And I think they did a very great job.
Certainly. And we mentioned some of the big wins you guys had. Those were really competitive games, tight ball games. In the past, you guys have lost some heartbreakers, but what was it the difference this year where you guys were able to really finish and come up clutch and just have that belief in yourselves?
I think it was the confidence from this group. You know, I think they kind of got the mindset of no matter what the situation is, we're gonna keep fighting, we're gonna keep fighting, and we're gonna keep fighting. And that kind of, so when we did get in those situations, it was like, okay, here we go. This is one of those situations. Let's fight. Let's get it done. I don't care what else going on. Let's fight. Let's get it done. I think they did a good job of having that mindset and spreading it to the rest of the team. And when we needed to play, these guys stepped up and made a play. And you can look at each one of those games. I mean, these guys are some more guys, but basically throughout that time, you can see these guys stepped up and made a play. And it was just huge for, I guess, spreading throughout the whole team.
No doubt, coach. And then I want to have the players again. Just state your guys' name again. I know you guys are class of 24, but just state your name again. And then I want you guys to answer this, you know, one after the other again. Just what is the best part of your game if you had to say, if someone asked you, I'm asking you a question, what is your favorite part or what is the best part of your game?
Once again, my name is Cerise Peterson D-Line at Jonesboro High School, and I feel like my best part of my game is for sure my explosion and violent. I'm very violent with my hands off the ball.
My name is Robert Hurley. I play O-line, and I feel like the best part of my game is I'm quick off my feet, and I get to the second level fast.
My name is Justin Hill. I play D-line, and I have a high motor, and my speed is the best part of my game.
My name is Donovan McCoy. I play running back. I feel like the best part of my game is my second level speed and when I'm in space.
My name is Montez Redden. I play wide receiver, and I feel like the best part of my game is after I catch the ball, what I can do with it. Like I can take a 15-yard play and turn it into a 70-yard house call.
No doubt. We've seen you this year, Montez, and I want you just to quickly share, the school you're going to. You blew up kind of also in recruiting, and then I'm gonna go back to you guys just one by one after Montez answers that question. Just state the program that you're also going to for those that are watching.
Um, I'm attending Arkansas State University.
And then before the next one goes, Montez, what was just you kind of just blew up in the recruiting. What was the best part or your most fun part from this year for you?
Um, my most fun part was bonding with my teammates and building a relationship with my coaches and understanding like what I have to do to succeed at the next level. And I feel like Coach Floyd was on my case a lot about me being not only a football player but a great young man, and it helped me a lot.
No doubt.
Yeah, and Montez, you put up massive numbers last season. I think 14 touchdowns, but it's not just the explosiveness; it's being reliable, being in the right spot, coming up with the key catch. So, how do you stay just focused and dialed in, just being able to maximize those opportunities within the game?
It really was just like it was like something that I felt like was very natural to me. Like me knowing like I know I can trust the quarterback to throw me the ball, and if he trusts me to go catch the ball, I know I gotta be special. And it's like I know everybody around me was like they gave me the confidence to be myself. So every game I just took what everybody gave me, took the energy that everybody gave me, and put it all out on the field.
And then I'll ask the coaches, what was the biggest thing that stood out to you this season about the way Montez was able to just make such a big impact, come up with these huge performances, 3 touchdown games, but just really beat elite competition at the secondary?
Well, watching him on the basketball court, I knew he was an explosive kid and could make things happen. We've been trying to get him out here. We're glad that he finally did, but you know, just having that confidence, and I think the guys had confidence in him. He's one of the kids that a lot of the younger guys look up to that in the skill position, and to see him interact with those guys, that kind of push, I guess, made them believe in him more. And some of those catches, like you said, taking that 15-yard catch and taking it 80 yards to the house, and those are huge. And drawing attention from other teams, opening up other people, understanding how it all play together. And I think the love that he has for the team and the love the team that has for him, and just really love everybody have everybody is just kind of been the biggest thing.
Yep, and then sorry, I was just gonna say, playing at the next level, succeeding, it's obviously really tough. But what is it about what you guys are able to establish at Jonesboro that you guys are confident that is what's gonna lead them to success at the next level?
Whatever the task is, you're gonna have to work. You have to serve, and you're gonna have to work. And like and come back to no matter what it is, you don't give up. You keep fighting until you get it done. You keep fighting until you get it done. It's gonna be some hard coaching. It's gonna be some hard times, but when you figure out what your purpose is, that's gonna help push you through that. And we do push finding your purpose a lot in the program. I think that's gonna be one of the biggest things. And pushing finding that purpose and knowing that you're gonna have to work regardless of the situation. You don't give up. You don't say I can't. You find a way to get it done, and just those things that kind of, I think they're going to be able to take them to the next level to help them push through those times.
Well, a couple more, Coach. We'll let you guys get out of here. Again, appreciate you guys coming on. One, I just want you guys to just kind of, for those that are watching, I mean, I love you guys' program at Jonesboro. Just talk a little bit about, what it means if you had to throw out like a recruiting pitch to coaches, just what it means to be a Jonesboro Cardinal, coming through that program every single day, and just what Jonesboro is about.
I'll start and then let Coach chime in. Well, I'm gonna say the foundation of our program is love. We say LOB is what we live off of, which is love our brother, and then we have our core values, our 5 Ds: discipline, dedication, determination, desire, and being dependable. I think that love we have for each other, and it may sound cliches, but it's real. Um, in the good times that we have, the bad times that we have, we're there for each other. These guys have success, and the other guys are there cheering for them. And if they're not cheering for them, they are challenged. You say you love this guy, why aren't you cheering for him? Some of the guys have gone through some tough times in life, and these guys, coaches, other players on the team have been there for them to help pick them up and say, "Okay, I got you. Come on, let's go." And I think one of the biggest things that kind of stand out, we went to FCA football camp this summer, and that night, one of those night meetings, it was just an amazing, something that you can't explain happened in that room to that was way bigger than football, way bigger than I got this offer, that offer, and it just kind of, I guess, started to solidify what what LOB really is, how to love each other in the good times and the bad times. And I'll let Coach chime in real quick.
Like Coach said, the love that these guys have for each other, you can see that they're a close knit group from 24s to 25 to 26s. There's like no person that doesn't really show love. If they're not at home, they always at somebody else's house. They're doing something together. They're like real brothers, and so I think this year, like I said, this class was a nucleus because of their senior class. They really, showed up and showed out and showed the younger guys, hey, this is how you do it. So I think that plays a big part in not only their success but also their recruiting. They're always, hey, good, congrats on your offer. This, and that, and then they trying to, hey, what can I do to get an offer also? So they always pushing each other.
No doubt, Coach. And then for those that want to, attend this signing day that you invited me to, just for our audience, where can they find you guys? Where would the signing day officially be held at? And at what time?
We'll be here in the media center at 4:00.
Right after. And then I got to ask, now that I have you guys here, what's the prospects looking like for next season at Jonesboro, coming off a great 8-4 season? How high are the goals going to be?
What was the second part of that?
How high are the goals going to be? Should I put you guys in the top 10?
Well, we most definitely gonna have a very tough schedule. Believe in those tough schedules, especially that non-region schedule is gonna be tough. The region schedule is gonna be tough. We're in a new region. I think all the teams except for one was in the playoffs. 3 teams were in the quarterfinals. Another 2 teams second round and better. So, we just gotta take it day by day, get better. It started in January, get better every day. Getting in the weight room, start learning assignments. So it's gonna be a tough road, and we most definitely up for the challenge. And I think that boost from the second round of playoffs kind of help get us on the right track to where we need to be going.
And you guys, are you still going to have all those big rivalries on this year's schedule? The Mondays Mill, Woodward?
We'll have school around the corner first game. Kind of working out the schedule on the second game. We'll head down to Delray Beach the third week, Atlantic High School. We picked up Banneker. We will play Mondays Mills in our region. No Woodward Academy this year, but we're but the rest of the schedule is going to be crazy. We're going to be way out in Douglas County, down in Columbus, down in Fayette County. So it's going. I'm excited, and I hope everybody else getting excited about it.
Well, no doubt, Coach. Appreciate you guys so much for coming on. As you guys all know, you can go attend their official signing day at the Media Center at 4 p.m. Coach, sir, as always, man, appreciate you, man, for just, coming on the show and allowing me to talk about your kids. And congrats to all the players that are with you guys. Congrats to the 2024 class, and love what you guys doing at Jonesboro. Hopefully we'll see you guys this summer for maybe some 707s.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. We appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.
Congrats, guys.
Congrats, guys. Thank you. All right. All right, guys. So there goes Jonesboro. What a great staff, great just team. I think they're on the rise, as you mentioned, Craig, 8-4. And I love how they set that up with their players, having them all join, got to learn a little bit about them, and then just being able to kind of talk to them a little bit, man. That was a lot of fun. And their program, I think, on the rise. And be interested to see who you're going to have them in your top 10.
I know they're in 4A. They're in the same region as Starsmell too. But here's what I really like about Jonesboro. Last summer, we were busy that day. I think we had our media day or something else, but they tried to get us to come out to the media day. They were letting us know we've got a special group. We're going to be good. Jonesboro, they've won basketball state titles, but they've been in these tough regions. They've had to play the Woodwards every year. They told us, and they delivered. 8-4. Big win over Gwynn Academy, ended up falling to state champion Thomas County Central. But with that schedule, some of those big wins they had, they put us on notice. They delivered this last year, so I think they're going to be really talented. And when we talked to guys at the Georgia High School Football Hall of Fame, they said the underclassmen, they're loaded. Got guys, not just the senior class, that have 20-plus offers. You had Coach Smart there last month, Georgia Tech. So it's definitely happening at Jonesboro.
No doubt it is. And we appreciate everybody tuning in and is ramping up right now. Make sure you hit the comment box, man, with whatever questions you're going to have. We're about to be joined right now by Jamari McIvory. Appreciate him coming on from Northern Illinois, man. Going to talk to the ball hawk from Savannah Christian, who played for a state championship, man. So appreciate everybody. Definitely hit the comment box down below. Without further ado, let's bring him on. What's going on, man?
I can't see myself. Oh, never mind.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Appreciate you coming on, Jamari, man. You've been a fun story to watch for me, man, and being able to see your growth and where you've been able to kind of, go with your career, man. Just kind of talk a little bit about senior year, man, playing in the state championship against Cedar Grove and Mercedes-Benz. What was that experience like?
I feel like a good experience because when we first started, I knew we going to state, but I ain't know what year, ninth grade year. I knew we going to state, but I didn't know when we going to state, if you know what I mean.
No doubt. And then you guys playing at a high level. And Jamar, I want to get from your perspective, man. What was it like, man, playing with such a deep roster defensively, right? You got Elijah Griffin, like the number 1, number 2 player in the country. You got LaDamian Guyton, who's pretty much the top freshman in the country. How much easier does that make your job as a defensive back, knowing those guys more than likely are going to get home to the quarterback?
I mean, my job easy because the only thing for me I got to worry about is the passes, the deep routes and stuff. So if I know if they give me enough time to get back in coverage before they could attack the quarterback, I can make a good play.
Yeah, and then Jamar, this year I think really stood out in the Savannah area. I mean, you had so many good teams there. You guys, Calvary Day, it's all anyone was talking about. Could you sense that there was just more buzz around the games, more fans there, more media? I mean, what was it like this year?
I think this is the most packed year we had because people from it was traffic from a whole hour away backed up and
wow.
Once I got the first pick six, I felt the crowd shaking and stuff. The environmental it was crazy.
Yeah, the first pick six. So
you had multiple.
Yeah. So
7
total. Did you have 7 picks this year? Was that it?
I didn't. I think I had 3 pick sixes, 7 interceptions and 3 pick six.
Man,
I'm gonna let you go, Craig, but I want to go back to I thought it was one of those viral plays you had, man. I mean, you going up against a really talented quarterback, Jake Merklinger of Calvary Day, man. What was that like, man? That moment, picking him off on the goal line. I see you smiling and return it all the way for a pick six, man. Walk me through that play, man.
All right, so first, like we was in like cover 2 first, and then like we switched the last second to like man. So like I got over there like a little bit late, and like he did like a little hitch route, so I stopped. Like I looked at the quarterback, I said he's not gonna throw it, but he ended up throwing it. So like I jumped the route and like took it all the way.
Playing the coverage perfectly.
And then, who was probably the most impressive receiver that you got to line up this year that really was like a hard battle throughout the entire night?
Probably like Thomas Blackshear from Calvary.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about, just to expound a little bit, talk a little bit about his game, man, and what made him tough. I mean, I know a lot of people are after him, 4-star player. What made him such a difficult matchup?
Probably like his run after the catch and stuff, and then like if the corners don't like press him, like he got like an easy way like just to go over the top of us.
Interesting. Okay.
And then defensively, I mean, this season you guys had that group. I mean, everyone who talked about Savannah Christian boasts about the defense. What was the mindset just of that group this last year? How tight were you guys, and the physicality you guys brought?
Like we said, like we want to be like one of the best defenses in Georgia, and like I think we proved that the whole season.
Absolutely. And then, what was the biggest difference in your game this during your senior year? Was it just the confidence, knowing that you had faced most of those opponents the previous year, just knowing that you could handle it?
I'm gonna say mainly confidence, because like each year I got even better, but like I didn't have the confidence until like my senior year, because I knew I had like step it up since it's like gonna be my last year to play football, high school football.
Talk a little bit about that. I mean, you said you had that mindset, like you knew like you had to step it up for your senior year, but talk a little bit about Jamari. What was that offseason prep like? What were you doing in the offseason to get prep? Because you look like just a veteran out there when you play. I mean, you look like you were one step ahead every single time. So what was that offseason prep like? What were things you were working on training wise to get ready for the season?
I used to go to my trainer, EJ Willingham, during the summer, and like we used to work on like flipping hips and like breaking on the ball like faster and stuff, and like high pointing it at the highest level.
And then you talked about the long pick sixes. You obviously run track too. That's where a lot of that speed comes from. But what was it like to have a play really go viral?
I don't know. It felt amazing. After the game, I kept watching it like over and over again.
I'm assuming
sure.
I'm assuming that's one of your fondest memories from this year. Or did you have another one? Okay.
Oh, it's that one.
No doubt. And then I just want to talk a little bit about just Northern Illinois, right? Talk a little bit about how your recruiting started with them. What was that process like, and building those relationships with that program?
I took like a visit over the summer, and I really liked it, and like Coach Hawkins and Coach Hammett talking about they were going to like keep recruiting me like throughout the year, and then November they gave me offer. And then like December came, like Coach Hammett and Coach Hawkins, they both came like to visit me in the school. And then Coach Hawkins, he also came to one of my basketball games to watch me play too.
Nice. And then what was their words on just how like you can fit into their program, kind of what they have in store for you when you come on campus?
They expect me like be like a deep threat, because they say they need like speed for like the deep balls and stuff. Because most people like up north, like they don't got the speed like people do in like Georgia. So they said that's how it'd be like a good fit for them.
And then track's been a big part of your high school career, no doubt about it. What is the rest of this semester going to look like for you?
Like we about to get finished up with basketball right now, and then after that I go like straight into track.
And talk about the goals this year. You already are well decorated, but any specific times you're aiming for, and what people can expect?
I want to be like a 2-time state championship this again, and then for the 400 I want to hit like 46 this year, and then the 200 I want to hit like a low 21.
And if you had to
Yep.
say, Jamari, just to expound on that, what does it take to be able to run, track at such an elite level and be able to kind of place these top times that you're placing and winning these state championships?
It take a lot, like probably eating a lot and like training a lot and stuff.
What's the? I mean, I ran track, but what in your eyes and audience that doesn't know, what's the best form to train for track? Is it just running all the time? Is it certain quick sudden movements? Like in your eyes, what do you think is the best way to train for track?
Like off season, like weight training, like power metrics, like that stuff, like power clean, and like back squats, like barbell lunge squats. I mean, and then after that, you're supposed to have like a tempo days, like probably more meters than you supposed to run in your event and stuff. Then after that, like you taper down like towards track whenever track season start, and like they start focusing like on the main event you're supposed to do and stuff.
Yeah, and you said, I mean, basketball now, track coming up. Do you even have a lot of time to prepare before these meets start up, or just a few weeks?
Like I do like every weekend. Uh, like I start in December, like every weekend from December for like start track practice.
All right. Well, we are definitely going to be looking at it. So you're going to be running the 200, the 400, and probably the 400 relay.
I am.
All right.
Perfect. And then I just want to ask a couple more before we let you go, Jamari. Just talk a little bit about. I know you said what you worked on this offseason, but where does that great just ball hawk ability kind of come from? Obviously, it's a skill. Something you have to work on. And it's not just something that's given. You have to work towards it. So talk a little bit about where that just kind of comes from naturally.
Talking about naturally.
Yeah, I mean, I know you work towards it, but I feel like it's natural with you too. So just talk a little bit about where that kind of stems from.
I probably say like my dad's side of the family because like all of them were like athletes and stuff.
Okay, so that's side. And then if you had to say, man, who is your favorite player in the game to watch now? I know you're going to be probably playing a different position in college, being a deep ball threat. But if you had to say, who's your favorite player, whether it's now or coming up watching that kind of gravitated you towards the sport of football?
I know it's like the corner from Seahawks, Tariq Woolen. I like his game.
Oh, okay. He's getting a lot popular. What stands about him? I know he has a lot of physicality. He takes away his side. What do you like about his game?
I think like his first and second year that when he had like a bunch of like picks and stuff, and I saw him like breaking on the ball and stuff.
Okay.
And then who was your biggest challenger, or maybe still is, at Savannah Christian in terms of being the fastest guy on the team?
That's a good one.
I'll probably say myself, to be honest.
Nobody comes in, man. Nobody come close. No,
he's fast.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I guess my last one, I'll throw it to Craig, is just what is your favorite just memory playing the sport of football? We talked about the one from this year, but just that could be youth football, that could be middle school ball. Just what's your favorite memory just ever playing the sport?
Can it be like funny or like?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, so summer workouts. One of my friends, like he was like walking like towards the ball when he wasn't supposed to. Like the coach kept telling him like sprint to the ball, and like he walked to the ball one time. And, like the coach got mad, and like it was raining and like wet. Next thing you know, the coach had like slip on his back, and like he's all muddy and stuff. And then he ended up getting mad and telling him like the bear crawl like the whole field like 4 times where he told him to stop.
Wow.
And you just got to sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I was laughing the whole time.
It's always good when someone else, man. So in terms of the next level, obviously you've got this great speed. You play multiple sports, playing both sides of the ball. But what are you excited about showing at the collegiate level and really honing in on a specific role?
That I could be like a team player at whenever you need me at the most.
And then what do you like about the receiver position, and how does playing defensive back and also receiver help you just understand how to win that battle?
For like receiver, you can tell like what the defensive back about to do by their helps and stuff, and just like looking at them. So like it's like always like a counter to like what they like about to do to you, like a press or something.
You said you like to race yourself. So if you were guarding yourself, who would win that matchup?
I say probably receiver one.
Yeah. And that's why you're playing it.
That is funny. What a question, Craig.
I mean, I always thought about that. Obviously, same for me. I was horrible at defense, but you're obviously might pick it off.
Well, no doubt, man. Well, Jamari, man, we appreciate you coming on for the time, man, and just sharing a little bit about you and a little bit about your program. And man, good luck on the next level. We'll definitely be in touch, and just appreciate you sharing a little bit about your story. And congrats on signing day today and going to Northern Illinois. Super excited for you, and appreciate you sharing a little bit of your time.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. So there goes Jamari McIvory from Savannah Christian. Had an outstanding season for the program, and made it to a state championship, played against Cedar Grove, but he had some viral moments this year and is a state champion. So he did absolutely outstanding this year. A lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, and you look at anything about Savannah Christian, there was always the word underrated next to his name. He's making the big plays. He's on a state championship contender, but it's like what positions he's going to play at the next level. The speed's the big thing, though. Let's just look at this time. He said he wants to be a 2-time track and field state champion. He is a 2-time AAU national champion in the 400 and the 200. He won the 400 in the GHSA last year, and he said he's trying to break 45 seconds in the 400. So we'll be covering track and field. Certainly be seeing how he finishes out, but getting a unbelievably talented and fast, explosive playmaker.
No doubt about it. And guys, we are an hour and 15 minutes into the show today. So we got a couple more guests. Jordan Ben Bride, obviously, from Grambling State. Gonna have him on. I know he's doing his signing day currently right now, but as soon as he's wrapped up, he will come on the show. And then we'll have Max on as well to talk a little bit about what's going on around the state and a little bit of his thoughts on some instant impact freshmen. And then we will wrap it up after that. But Craig, what else are you seeing? Is anything that you wanted to hit on before we bring on Brim Bride?
Let's see. Well, we talked about the big guys when was that? Last week, just what Ohio State's been doing. Their aggressive moves in the last few weeks with Caleb Downs getting just incredible talent defensively. But what have you seen from Colorado? That was a team you were seeing if they're going to make a impact today.
Yeah, I have not seen a lot on the Twitter sphere for Colorado. I've been looking up the Buffaloes and Coach Prime. They're supposed to have some big announcements today at 10 a.m., but I have not seen anything at all. As you can see, I've been ready Wednesday, 10 a.m. Let's do this thing. That was per Rivals. I have not seen anything. Let's see what the latest from Coach Prime. Looks like his last tweet. Have you started this year like you wanted to? Have you made changes that you said you would make? Have you done the things that you said you would do? What are you waiting on? Change is waiting on you. But no, that is it. I have not seen anything. Let's look up 247 real quick as far as Colorado. I know we talked about it yesterday on the show that they are, dealing with a lot of coaching change and things like that. So I know they only had 6 recruits from his class, number 22, 118.
Now.
What do you say?
Yeah, they're at 7.
They're at 7 now. Let's see who are they able to get. Is there anybody that looks new? I mean, I know Michael was there. Seaton's obviously one. We know Brantley from Valdosta, Michael Welsh. Maybe that Kyron Garcia from Dunbar.
Yeah,
that's the only one I've seen that far as, their group and being able to bring any guys in. But what else have you seen, Craig?
Let's see. 7 commits. What's the transfer number up on that?
Oh, they're like number 5 in the country on transfer portal.
Okay. So that's the new thing. When you look at the final rankings, who has the best class of 2024? That's going to be calculated by the number and then whether they're 4 stars or 5 stars. But if Georgia has 28 guys coming in and then you have 12 and then 25 transfers, none of those transfers are going to go into it. So I think for the first time, you're going to have to look at transfer portal rankings, the other ones, and there's not really a perfect formula to showcase massive disparities like that. You can't just average it out. So it looks like they're still going the transfer route, but that's unique. 7, that's it.
That's it, man.
I mean,
we talked about it yesterday. That's it.
Man, that is really changing the game.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, normally it's like you want to lock in the guys 4 years, but it's like, no, they want guys that are ready to play immediately, I guess.
And I think the thing we have to talk about too, Craig, Coach Prime's taking a different approach too, because we've seen Georgia signed over 25, 30 players. We've seen Bama sign a bunch of players, 28 for Alabama. You go look at the rosters, guys. Most of these top programs are doing that. I think Deion just has a different approach and how he's doing it. And I think, as I said, it was on the show yesterday, not having those position coaches, a lot of them leaving, that definitely plays a part in landing some of these commits and recruits as well. So we will monitor that. But as you said, Craig, they definitely want guys that can come in, contribute, and play right now.
Yep, 24 transfers, 7 incoming seniors. What have you seen out of Georgia Tech and Kennesaw State?
So Kennesaw has added some guys. We're going to share the screen with you. Kennesaw State hasn't really done too much, to be honest. Georgia Tech hasn't. I've been checking that all day. They basically locked it up from early signing day. I mean, I'll share the screen with you guys so you can see what Tech has been up to. But Tech has been very quiet. I think they got most of the guys they wanted, early signing period. But as you can see, February 6th, no major news. Guys just locking in for the spring and then their spring game. But let's look at Kennesaw State, as Craig mentioned. They've gotten some guys. So we'll look at this
just put
together.
out an article an hour ago. You'll see it on the main football site.
Thank you, Craig. Not see that. All right.
Click on right there. Yep.
Cool. So
it says they add 7. Let's see who they got.
All right. So we're going to share this tab with you guys. All right. So here's the breakdown. 5 offensive players, 3 defensive players, 4 from Georgia, 1 from Bama, 1 from Nevada, 1 from South Carolina, 1 from Texas. So they got Jarvis Adams out of Rome High School, offensive lineman, 6'1", 270. As we all know, Coach John Reed is there, had a really good season, 12-2. Grandson of George and Wanda Adams. So he was there. This is a big one, I think, here. Underrated player, Craig. Terrence Curtis, 6 foot, 170, went to Parkview High School under Coach Sturdivant. Had a really good year as well. That's another big-time player. That's Troy. That's South Carolina. That's Nevada. That's Texas. Okay, let's see. And it looks like they got a transfer, Donovan Westmoreland, from South Carolina, formerly of Griffin High School, highest ranked recruit in KSU football history. It's a pretty cool stat there, coming over from SC. And then looks like we got Isaiah Williams from Pickens High School, of Jasper, Georgia, the tight end, played for Grant Myers at Pickens. So that's some of them. What's your reaction, Craig?
It's solid, and obviously it's huge. Kennesaw heading into the Conference USA, and they've got a good foundation. But I'd like to see they're hitting the transfer portal, getting the Griffin kid, who was a top 40 prospect in the entire state when he graduated.
No doubt.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, and I think what's cool too, Craig, and we talked about it off air, but I think with some of these programs in Georgia, you're seeing the kind of influx of talent that wants to either come here or stay here. And I think we're seeing a lot of these programs getting some really good talent. The Kennesaw States, we mentioned the West Georgia just recently. And I think those moving, we know Kennesaw State was playing D1, but at a lower level, but then now transferring over to Conference USA, then West Georgia being a D2 school, now becoming a D1. So I think it's only going to help them, and they're going to have more to tell these kids, okay, hey, well, you weren't able to go to Georgia. You weren't able to go to Georgia Tech. You weren't able to go to Georgia State or Georgia Southern, but you still can come play D1 football and come play with us. So I think, to me, it goes for these colleges having a lot. They might not be a Power 4 or Power 5 program, but you're still able to put your talent on display and play in front of a really good audience and a really good stadium.
Yep, Kennesaw, to me, it's like they're just getting started. There's been tremendous support from the get-go, but I think just playing in a bigger conference, getting some of these big names, it's going to really take off. But I thought this was interesting about this class. So it says 5 offensive players, 3 defensive. It also featured student athletes from 5 different states, including the first ever signee from Nevada. That was Jacob Norcross, and he comes from Bishop Gorman. big time program. I believe Brookwood played them recently.
A couple years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now Brookwood's got Bryce Dobson. He graduated. He's at Kennesaw State now. He's going to play his first year this upcoming season. And then it says the offensive line remained a priority for the Owls this February during the entire signing period. Kennesaw added 3 more offensive linemen to bring its total for 10 in the 2024 class. So it looks like they had, I guess, what are they at now? Yeah, today they added 8 more, but I think they must have had 15 in the early signing period. So they're up to 23 total players. But that's definitely a big get for them today. Just adding the final touches to this recruiting class, including the former 4-star Donovan Westmoreland.
No doubt about it. I'm sending this link out. Supposed to have Ben Bright on pretty shortly here. He's wrapping up his signing day. And I'm sending the link to our other guests that will join later. All right. So that's what we got for is now. See, is there anything else big on the circuit currently? I don't think so. Okay, well, I will highlight East Paulding. I think they do also a really good job with their program as far as their recruiting. So I'm going to highlight them really quick while we wait. So he said, congrats to all these young men, 50%, not bad at all. So 6 of the 22 seniors signing today, 5 additional players will sign by March, 50% of seniors signing to play at the next level. That is their graphic. They didn't go specifically what teams it was, but I thought that was cool. Just one of those teams. I think, that account, they're doing a really good job, Craig, of putting in exposure for their program and their players. I know they had a really impressive player to play Georgia League Classic, Javin Parker, excuse me. And I think Coach Hirschfield is doing a really good job with his program, and that account EPHS Recruits is doing really good getting in their kids out there.
Yeah, it was his second year there, and you can tell they're heading in the right direction. They were way more competitive this year with Douglas County and Hughes heading into year 2. And I think they're going to have a big season this upcoming year and an opportunity to compete for the region title.
No doubt. Without further ado, let's bring on Jordan Brandbride from the Walton Raiders. What's going on, Jordan?
How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Congrats on signing day, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Well, man, me and you talked a couple times already, man, and we talked about recently just you coming from you went to Savannah State, you visited there, and then you had something set up with Grambling State. So we talked about a lot of things, and what really impressed me was you already had a cultivated plan, right? You said this school got to check all these boxes, right? Nutrition, development, education, academics, how they see me as a player. So what was it for you that Grambling checked that just like, okay, this feels like the fit for me, how they see me offensively, how they see me into their program? Talk a little bit about that.
I went and talked to Coach Joseph, had a brief talk, Coach Joseph, and he gave it to me straight. He gave it to me 100%, and he let me know what I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. And his staff, great staff. He brought in a new staff, very strong and Power 5 staff, and it's a lot of great competition we're bringing in, and I think we're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
No doubt. And then I know you said it didn't really matter what side you played on the next level, but I know they had you as a wide receiver. So how is that kind of looking? You going to get a couple snaps defensively, or is it more so on the offensive side? How does that look this year, man?
So y'all could expect to see me all over the field. Definitely a wide receiver, a little bit of nickel, definitely some punt returning, be making a lot of tackles, a lot of touchdowns, a lot of everything. Whatever y'all want to see.
I love it.
I completely agree. And this season, Bam, you're 100% right. You have such a unique way to just come in, make a big play, and it didn't matter if it was offense, defense, you're moving around all over the field. But I was impressed specifically with your ability. I think it was the Carrollton game, those over-the-shoulder catches you had on the sideline, the route running, the timing, the difficulty. You made it look easy. So what do you like about just the receiver position, and how were you able to just excel at that position?
I like to model my game after, Tank Dell, very explosive receiver who is tough to guard, very elusive, speedy, quick, unpredictable, and I feel like that's my game. Being able to make that big catch on the sideline, that that great route, lose that defender over there and go for another 30 or another touchdown. So I feel like my game being that dominant and being able to do what I do at the times I do it, I'm never scared. Big games, big lights, it doesn't matter. I'm ready to do it whenever on whoever.
Yeah, and that catch you had, I've seen the clip just tons
Yeah.
of times this season against Grayson. That catch was ridiculous. Talk about that play and what stood out about it to you.
That play was a huge timing play with my quarterback. I was actually the last option on the play, and he came to me first. He came to me right away, and I felt like he just trusted me in that first game to throw that ball in that situation in the red zone, off a turnover, and just to make it look easy the way he did, and the way we pitch and catch that ball, and the situation and kind of game it was. I really, enjoyed playing with Jeremy. And I think practice and reps 7-on-7 stuff like that really, really affected that.
Yeah, and then Bev, this season, I mean, you guys had such a great year, broke all those records offensively. The defense, though, never had a bad game. You guys did your thing, but I feel like Walton had so many blowouts. You guys got to rest in the second half. You're playing both sides of the ball. What's the ceiling of your potential production if you're just playing receiver, like receiver one for an entire year? I mean, how confident are you that you can really put up some massive results?
I think going both ways in high school was a tough task, itself. And to do that, you have to be pretty conditioned. And I feel like to be a big time receiver, especially at a guy at my size who's not the size many coaches want nowadays, is you got to be able to play when you're needed, like under any circumstances, and you got to be able to play when you're tired, and you got to be able to play big when you're tired. So I think just being able to play the way I play and do it for the amount of time I can do it on whatever stage you need me to do it on is what makes me a different type of player.
Yeah, for sure. And you're 100% though. It's like you were playing both sides of the ball because they needed you defensively, like badly. I mean, depth wasn't that good there, but then you would come in and it's not that you're tired, you just make a big play offensively. So, what was that like knowing, like, okay, you're focusing on defense, but your number could be called at any given moment?
Sure. It was actually kind of fun, being able to do both at a high level. Playing defense for Walton was very complex, but it was enjoyable because I knew the other 10 guys next to me were going to focus on their job as much as I did mine. And we worked as a unison. Being able to play on that offense, play 2,000-yard rush, 1,000-yard receiver, double-digit scoring tight end, impact double-side player like me, Wyatt Sonderman. So it was just a lot going on, and I felt like me being able to do both when they needed me and that whatever they did, it just made it tougher to stop us. It made it hard to beat the Walton Raiders. I'll tell you that much.
And then Bam, go back. I heard your answer to this already, but go back and kind of enlighten Craig. I thought the game was going to change as soon as you made this play, but it's on the defensive side of the ball against Milton. You get the big pick, the momentum shifted. I talked to you about it, and you said, yeah, it felt like that moment right there was different. Just talk a little bit about that and being in that moment and getting your team some momentum. They desperately needed it.
That moment for me was huge. A lot of people question, why I ran out the sideline. But if you go back and watch the clip, it was enough time that we needed 2 scores. We were down 2 scores at the time, and the game situation just sparked me to, get out of bounds. So we got some time for offense to do what we need to do and get back in this game. And as you see, once we got back on offense, we scored immediately. We scored in a short amount of period of time, and we had a lot of time on defense to get another stop. And, it just fell short, slipped out of our hands. But I feel like we managed that game the right way. We beat ourselves.
No doubt. And what was it like, man, just playing with Cam Lloyd this year, man? I know you played with Solomon as well, but what was it like just you two having that dynamic? You both, guys got a lot of speed. You both are dynamic. Just what was it like playing with him on the offensive side of the ball?
It was amazing. And knowing the play call, you know, knowing if it was going to go to him or not, and watching him conduct how he runs his routes, especially when he's getting a certain amount of catches a game or a certain route. It was just amazing to watch him move and swiggle and speed through the defense, because that boy can move now. Hey, at practice he was tough. I can't lie, but he was amazing to play with. And people underestimate his size. He's tough to take down. He will make you miss. He will bounce off a tackle, and you know, I feel like he's an all around receiver that's very underrated.
No doubt about it, man. And then, Bam, if you had to say, I know you played at, different schools, just, what just made the Walton program different, man? It felt like you guys, the year before you were there, they, was going in the right direction, right? They upsetted a powerhouse in Buford, right? And then this year you guys go with a 14-1 record. This, what about that Walton program is different?
I think the commitment throughout the team, and how committed and focused we were throughout the year. And our coaching staff played a huge part on that. Walton's coaching staff is it's amazing. Like it's almost next level. And they put so much time into the kids and the program and what they do as a football program. So the way the team moved around, like our coaching staff played a huge part in that.
No doubt about it. And then one more, I'll throw back to Craig. Just, talk a little bit about just, the campus. I feel like we don't talk about it enough when it comes to HBCUs. But when you were there, I know they put you through a whole spiel and everything and told you the things you needed to hear and stuff like that. But what was it like, man, being on that campus when you got there, arriving, being able to tour the facilities? What was that like, man?
You know, speaking on Gremlin, whole staff's on the stream, by the way. So shout out Gremlin staff. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. But when I went down there, it was just a lot of love. They showed me a lot of love, and they took great care of me. And they showed me everywhere. The dorms were nice. The facilities are nice. Coach Eddie Robb made a huge move by building a players' lounge. It's amazing in the locker room. So we're making a lot of advancements, especially with Coach Mickey Joseph coming in. It's a lot. It's a lot moving around. I can't speak on. Y'all gonna see it, but hey, it's a lot. It's a lot going on behind the scenes back there.
And real quick,
This year.
real quick, if we want to see you, what networks you guys gonna be on? Just how can we just keep up with you and what you're doing?
We'd be on ESPN. They'd be on. We definitely got an HBCU channel, HBCU network, I think. What else? ESPN too. We get a lot of our games are streamed. A lot of our games are TV streams, streamed on TV. So I'm gonna definitely send you the link, so you can get
Do
it
that.
out there. So yeah, but we do play on ESPN a good amount of it, and then we play in the Bayou Classic, which is still a huge game, huge APCU game that's streamed every year.
Bet.
Yep. And yeah, the staff's watching. I know they're excited to have you down there, but are you going to get to campus in June? Is that kind of the check-in date?
Yes, sir. Right after I graduate.
All right. So how do you take advantage of these next few months? What are you going to be up to?
I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Actually, I'm way ahead. Right after the season, I think I made a 2-3 week break, and I got right back to it. Training, lifting, rehabbing, recovering. And repeating every day, waking up, doing my work, and then getting to it. So I think for me, it's just being consistent and being able to keep doing what I need to do to be ready when I get there.
And then the staff's excited to see you, but the Grambling community as a whole, I mean, how pumped are they to have you down there?
It's amazing. Prior to me signing, once I committed, it was just a lot of love. Even before I committed, when they got in contact with me, they showed me a lot of love. They talked to me consistently, let them know that I was the guy they wanted, and they got them. So I'm gonna make an impact and show them the guy they want to see.
Yep, I know Roderick McCrary. We've talked to him from Creekside. We covered a lot of his games this year also. He's committed. Who else are you excited about in this 2024 class?
I was on my official. We actually had 5 commits on that official visit. So all 24 commits. So we're bringing in a huge 24 class. It's going to be deep. Coach Joseph is about building the character in a person and a player, and what to make him out after football. So he has a rich culture around there, and I'm ready to be a Tiger.
Yep, and we were talking to KJ. It looked like he's going to go to a Super Bowl party this upcoming weekend. I mean, we're football fans. Everyone's going to be watching the game. What's your game plan?
Please don't say Chiefs.
I'm a huge Debo Brandon Ayuk fan. I love it a lot. But to be honest, I'm going with the 49ers.
Let's go, Bam.
You know what I'm saying?
Who that? What's going on, Coach?
You already know who here with him. Uncle Mill
I'm
in the
already
building.
knowing.
Coach Mill.
I'm already knowing. What's going on, Coach?
Man, hey, I just want to say, man, so proud of my nephew right here. Hey, I wouldn't miss this for the world. This is my ninth school today, and I had to cancel 3 because I was coming here. So it's just the crazy, the magnitude that he has been impacted football since dang on 3 years old. People don't know he's been playing this game, a long time. Pops from Chicago, what I'm saying, in Indiana, we just hey, we play football there too. Me being from Chicago, as we said, a crib. Now he in the A, and like Coach Bruce said, he Bam just really impact the whole team of Walton this year, and it became contagious that hey, we could do this thing. So I just want to say big props to Bam right now on his commitment. And a lot of schools came in late, and it just, the family has some really good ties with Coach Mickens, and it just was a perfect fit for him to go down there. And I just feel like, man, the world ain't seen nothing yet. World ain't seen nothing yet. Bam is just an all-around player, a 5-star on Baller's Choice, on our you dig. So All-American. Don't forget that people got to understand he was freshman All-American and still an All-American, with Adidas and the Army All-American game with Eric Richards and myself, Steve Wilfong, and everybody. So I just want to thank you, everybody on that side, always supporting him as well. And you already know how he is, Seg and Naj. We was a Walton through and through. Everybody out there doing their thing, love everybody out there. But when you got a talent like Jeremy Helinski and you got Bam and all Daniel Cahoon and all the rest of the CL and all the rest of the Walton guys, just big day for Bam right here, man. Huge day, man. Shut up a lot of doubters, man. And hey, I can't even say it. I can't. Hey, he will be getting that journey to the NFL. I'm saying it. He getting there. Watch, he gonna get there. Everybody got their own path. Watch, he get there.
Yeah, Bam. So the first play I ever saw from you was right before you got to Walton. I went back and looked. You were covering some guy deep, and then you came down and made the tackle on a screenplay, just blew it up. And I was like, all right, Walton's never had a guy that fast in the secondary. And then I come to find out you can play offense too. I'm like, I love this guy. Like, thank you for being on Walton. But no, it was anyone that wants to watch your highlights. I'm telling you, the Carrollton game, those sideline catches. I mean, that was NFL level. I said it as soon as the game was over.
And to your point, Craig, he took away one of the best players in the country, right? 5-star Caleb Odom, right? Limited him in that game, one-on-one matched up, and didn't allow him to catch any touchdowns. That speaks volumes.
Yeah. They don't want to talk about that.
No
Caleb,
doubt.
yeah, he's a freak of a receiver.
And Caleb was definitely a freak.
That's a big dude.
Yes.
Real quick, Coach, I want to ask you, and this goes along with Bam. Just, Coach, I want to talk a little bit about just you as a person. You find this talent, Coach, and you're around some of these really special athletes, right? Travis Hunter, you had a close relationship with him, and we see him what he's doing. Bam Bryant, you put me on the Bryant back this summer when I was in Hoover, Alabama, and you told me about him. So, Coach, how are you able to see this and talk about this exposure you're doing for these kids and putting them out there and on the map?
A number guy, big us the GOD, can't do nothing without him. My boy Steve Wilfong, we've been together. People don't know me and Steve Wilfong been doing this almost 25 years together, And people wouldn't even understand that, I remember Steve had a dang on 1964 Pinto, rustied out, And we've been doing this thing collectively a long time and just always falling in love with the talent of the kid. Eric Richards as well. I sit on with Eric Richards and the whole crew, FBU All-American Board and everything. People don't know that. So I've been doing this thing a long time. Me being a head coach as well, I train talent. So I've just always been around this game. And if I'm not coaching football, I'm coaching basketball or track. And I just see it. When I know it, I know it. Ain't nothing to say. I speak with my heart. I speak with my eyes. I speak with my heart. And when Bam has just always been like I've been around the family. Like I said, these are my family. So it's just like been seeing him and his brother, just some ballers, and the same like with the Travis Hunters and the Trevor Lawrence, the Justin Fields, on and on, like the last 3 years, people wouldn't even, it's some conversation. We would have to have a conversation. The last 3 years, I've had 3 of the NFL Rookies of the Year. I had Trayvon Walker, NFL Rookie of the Year. Last year, I just had Kyle Hamilton. And then this year, I just had Will Anderson. So these are kids that a lot of people wasn't talking about when I got these kids, put them on the map. They had 0 stars and 0 offers. Trayvon didn't have no offers, And then, Will Anderson, Georgia never offered Will Anderson. People don't know that. So it's just like with Bam. Bam is just a kid that's just freak, just the things he do on tape. And you was talking about the first clip on there, and I told him, I said, let's put this clip on here first. And that's the clip I talked to him about. You couldn't have said, you couldn't have said it no better. When he was in the secondary, he came up and made that. That's NFL. Your eyes are stayed. We seeing the same thing. And I told Bam, I said, that play, I told his dad, I said, that got to be the first play. And that's crazy, say bringing this play up. That's crazy. I said, that play, when he made that out of the second, he knew it. He read that. I said, that's NFL right there. I said, college coaches, all my guys, they was like, Mill, let's go Bam, go ahead over the gram and, and shine. And then he'll be coming right back up. He'll be coming right back up.
Hey, y'all go check them North Cobb highlights too. There's a lot of smoke on that too. No cap. No cap.
That was a heck of a game.
Yes, we had a great year in football, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to teams like Walton. We had a great year just seeing so much talent in Georgia football. There's a lot of talent all over the country. But when you talk football, you definitely got to talk about Georgia football, hands down.
Gotcha.
And like you said, the question, I appreciate God just let me see things. That's it. That's all I can say.
No doubt. And I guess that's just the last one. I know it's a busy day for you, man. We're going to let you get back to celebrating. But what are you most looking forward to, man, in that freshman year, man, being at Grambling State and being able to kind of be out there in a new atmosphere, new environment, and being able to show, put your talents on display, man?
I'm looking to make a statement. Go in there and from day one, make a statement at practice first before I can even make one field. Get in there and earn my stripes. And let them know I'm ready to play with the big guys and ready to run the SWAC. Straight up.
No doubt.
And you said you've been playing since you were how old?
3.
Serious.
Hey,
you can tell.
Ball at 3. I started loving football at 3.
Hey, that's funny. Hey, Bam, I don't know if you can see this comment, but you did get a congrats. It says, hey, my guy, Bam, congrats, G-Man, Coach Peters. Wanted to show you that before we can let you go off.
Oh, yes, sir. That's my wide receiver coach, actually. Thank you, Coach. Yes, sir. G-Man on the way.
They can't wait to get him down there. That's what I told him. Receiver coach like, Mill, we can't wait to get him on deck, boy.
I can't wait to see a full season at receiver. It's going to be crazy.
Hey, it's going to be lit. It's going to be lit for sure.
No doubt. Well, Bam, we appreciate you as always. Coach Mill, I want to give you a special shout out too, man. You put me on Bam early. That's how I was able to grow this relationship with him and get so close, man. So we appreciate you. I know you're going to be doing great stuff this summer, man, as always. And Bam, you know the deal, man. You got my number. You got my contact. Stay in touch, man, and send me all your stuff. I'll still do
Don't forget the camp. Hey, we all at Villa Rica, March 30th.
Oh yeah.
We at Villa Rica High School. Bama be on deck. So
out.
that's gonna be one of his send-off parties to college. So March 30th, the hot list camp, Villa Rica High School.
Be
And we're
there.
doing the first ever girls camp because flag football,
Flag football,
NFL flag football popping for the girls now, getting scholarships.
That's fact.
The 31st on Sunday, we're doing the first ever girls football camp. Villa Rica High School. See y'all then.
Let's do it.
See you then,
Yep.
coach. Appreciate it. All right, Bam. I'm being
Thank y'all.
contact. Appreciate you, fam.
Thank you.
Sir. All right, guys. So there it goes. Jordan Ben Bry. Appreciate him coming on. Very, very busy guy. We got one more coming on, kind of our insider, Max, as he gets set up to kind of come on and kind of close us out for the day. But what's just your takeaway, man? I mean, Coach Mills, he's all around it. I mean, he got big, powerful relationships. He's able to do a lot of stuff. Just what's your thoughts?
Yeah, so the individual plays are so just impressive because he's a guy that they need him guarding the best receiver on the other team in that Walton secondary. He's moving around. He's having to cover a lot of ground. Walton's defense was phenomenal all season long. From a production standpoint, they have all these big leads. He's sitting in the second half a lot of these games. That takes some of the numbers off. Then you look at offensively, has over 700 yards off 40 catches, tons of touchdowns, and each individual play. I mean, the Grayson catch, you can see that one on social media. Basically, one hands it in the end zone in Mercedes-Benz in his Walton debut. The big interceptions, and then what I said, these sideline over-the-shoulder catches are so difficult to make because you're having to track the ball, know where it's coming, and then have the ability to jump up. He was covered tightly. These are elite plays because when you need that 3rd and 8 conversion, you have a guy that can get to that spot and then make that catch. It's literally unguardable.
No doubt about it. Sorry about that, y'all. I was trying to get Max logged in to come on. But, yes, 100% agree with you, man. Led them in interceptions, 3rd leading receiver this year on a very talented group. And, I mean, I just felt like he always made the big play when he needed it the most.
Yeah, I mean, 40 catches, 700-plus yards, and he's playing in the secondary. I mean, him as a primary offensive target, he is going for big numbers. And I think it was like 18 yards per catch. Walton had such an explosive offense. But I think he's going to be dangerous in the screen game. He's shifty. We haven't even seen him just like these yards after catch, the big plays. He has that in his game also. So he's going to be an exciting playmaker. And the most impressive thing is the fact that he can be playing all those reps on defense. They plug him in not just on any offensive moment, key ones in the red zone, in a big drive, and he's able to go out there, perfect execution, and just brilliantly make the plays. That proves he's prepared, he's conditioned, he takes every rep with the same speed and effort, and it shows on the field.
No doubt about it. Great explanation by you, Craig. So without further ado, we're going to bring on another one of our fellow insiders, Max. Come on, he's been doing a great job since he's been with the company. I think this is his first time on one of our shows, so we're excited to bring him on, and let's go ahead and talk some ball with him. What's going on, Max?
How we doing, guys? Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. We know you are a fellow Bama fan, but I want you to be a part of this, man. I've seen you. I think you shine very, very bright, man, and I think you could have a strong future in the industry. So wanted you kind of give you some airtime today, man. But talk about, man, what are you seeing today on this signing day? I know, me and you were talking before off air. I didn't see anything happen with really Coach Prime at the 10 p.m. announcement. But what have you been seeing so far today, man?
Yeah, I've been waiting on the Coach Prime announcement. I've been refreshing Twitter, nothing yet. I think you said 10 a.m. Mountain Time, so I think we're still waiting on that. I'm not sure what the difference is there, but
that's true.
Yeah.
I think it might, maybe 1 p.m. our time. I don't know.
Maybe, but it's 1:56 now. Almost 2, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, he hasn't been. I've not heard anything on what his plans are or what his big announcement was. But he did say there was something coming, so I guess we have to just wait and see.
No doubt about it, man. And then I wanted to get your thoughts. I don't know if you've seen it, but Georgia, you too, Craig. I don't know if you guys seen it, but Jeremy Bell from Clinch County, he had got a preferred walk-on and chose Georgia over other Power 5 programs. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Just his potentially coming on campus and maybe being able to have a pretty cool story. We've seen guys like Stetson Bennett being able to do the same thing and contribute into being a starter. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
What position is he?
Receiver.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean they build receivers over there. I mean they've had a good slew of them for the past couple of years, and I'm pretty sure Lad McConkey, was he not a walk on as well?
I was going to say that, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to confirm in case I was wrong. But I was going to say that too. Was he a walk on as well?
We need the lore from Rusty. I think he might have been like a last day scholarship guy, but yeah, they've had plenty of walk-ons.
Make impact.
Yeah, huge impacts. It's not just like a kicker every once in a while. No, we've seen it at the running back position back in the day. Defensively is a little more rare, but yeah, receiver for sure. I think the receiver, I mean, that's a position when you've got all these great quarterbacks, guys might transfer out. I think you do have an opportunity. I mean, when I was there, I had zero opportunity because we had AJ Green, Muhammad Massaquoi, Tavares King, Mike Moore, D'Amico Goodman, Chris Durham. It's like I was so far down that depth chart, but I think there's a better opportunity now.
Nah, you were there, Craig. You were there.
No doubt about it, man. But what else have you been hearing, man, just around the state with some of these players? I know some that have not committed yet. CJ Hurd, I know, was kind of linked towards Florida Atlantic, but what are you hearing around the state? Smaller schools, bigger schools? What's the latest?
I was looking into Keenan Phillips earlier today. We're still waiting on his commitment. He's got a couple of offers from NC State, App State, FAU, Boston College, Tulane, Vandy. Still waiting on his. I haven't seen what he's done yet. And then CJ Hurd also still waiting on that one as well.
Interesting. Okay, so no news out of there just yet. Okay, I know a couple are going to be having some late signing days. I know that's Jonesboro. I believe Grayson's having theirs in about 30 minutes as well. But what have you seen from just the in-state schools? We hit on it a little bit, but I know you covered some of the Sun Belt. What's going on with just Georgia Southern, Georgia State, some of the schools in-state?
Well, I was looking at those earlier, but did not keep them in my notes. But I have other stuff.
I'll add us.
Yeah. I got like the impact freshman for this year
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a really, really talented class, especially in the class overall, very talented, but especially in the state of Georgia. There's so many players off the top of my head that would just make an impact immediately next year. For starters, I know I'm a little biased, but I think Caleb Odom will be a star.
Yep. I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
I know I'm a little biased. I know the shirt says it, but I mean, DeBoer last year with his tight end, he was the third leading receiver on the team with 46 catches, and they had a slew of receivers in Odunze, McMillan, and Polk. And there's no reason why Odom won't be involved, even though Alabama already has some tight ends on the roster already who made an impact last season. I feel like Odom's a guy who's just gonna not surprise because everybody knows how good he can be, but he's a new 5-star by On3. He should make an immediate impact in the passing game for sure for Alabama next season.
And who else you got as an impact freshman?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying who else you got as an impact freshman? Anybody else you see on that list that stands out to you?
I mean, I know it's kind of easy to say, but I think KJ Bolden will also be an impact. I think pairing him up with Malachi Starks in the back end for Georgia's defense is something. I mean, they're losing Bullard to the draft, and Bullard and Starks were a good pair, but I think Bolden will be a stud for sure. Yeah.
What impresses you about KJ though? Because he's such a huge part of this 2024 class, but I mean, every time you saw him, the kickoff returns. I mean,
I think if I had to say, I think KJ's just explosive, man. Like he's just a guy, just get him the ball and get out of the way. He was a big focal point of their offense last year. And I think at times they were a little heavily reliant on him. Not that he couldn't handle it, he could, but I just thought I would like to see Buford use more of their weapons. But I think KJ, man, whatever you throw in front of him, KJ gonna ball at. That's what I feel like. The explosion, his ability to be a ball hawking, and you know a part I talked to him off air. And what was so cool before I did the interview after the post game, you guys will go back and look at it. Look at Buford against Marietta, and he said people were questioning his physicality. Yep. Right. And I remember in that game, he just came downhill and laid a hit, nearly knocked the dude out. I mean, it's plays like that impresses you with KJ. It ain't just the ball hawking skills, it ain't his ability to go from one side to the other side of the field. Mm-hmm. It's his ability also to come downhill and make a big hit. So that's an underrated part of his game. But he showed me he is the complete package, and there's a reason why he's a 5-star.
And things like that just translate so well to the SEC, and especially at Georgia. I mean, they'll love him there for it.
No doubt about it.
It's a perfect fit. Another one I would say, it's kind of a question at this point, but I'm kind of curious to see what Raiola does at Nebraska. It'd be very interesting just to see like what he could do with that program. I believe his dad might be on the staff in some capacity, which is why he probably may have flipped. But I don't know. It'd just be interesting to see what he could do at Nebraska, who's been a sleeping giant for all these years, and see if they can wake him up.
Good point. And what I always say is like a guy like him, the talent's there, but this is fifth school in 5 years. So I think once he settles in at Nebraska, I mean, we're finally going to be able to see him get a group going. And maybe he is that guy that, as you said, well said, awakes the sleeping giant.
I think for him, just real quick, my point on it, I think he's a stellar quarterback. I think it just goes back to the continuity, Craig. You got to be able to stay. I know it's different in high school, but when you face adversity at specifically, let's say Nebraska, you can't leave on the first one, enter the transfer portal after a semester or a year. Like, just stick it out and go through the process. Love the process. Not saying he did. That's not him. I'm just saying when you go to this school, like, you got to put it all in, man. And no matter what happens, just continue to work and grind,
No, I mean, you make a good point. I mean, yeah, he might be there to stay, but this is also a guy that said he was committed to Georgia the entire time and then flipped at the last second. So, yeah, until we see him stay in a spot, we can't just assume.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. For you, Max, as well. I know you're big on Bama, so you know about some of the moves. But just real quick, I'm sure you know these names, but the Jalen Mbakwe's being able to keep like the Ryan Williams of the world. How excited are you to see them come and be able to pull on the Alabama uniform and that they were able to keep him? I mean, a lot of times we see a legend like a Nick Saban retire, you be thinking, oh, okay, these guys are going to go. But they stayed. How excited are you to see them put on the Crimson Tide jersey?
Very excited. I mean, I feel like Bama fans have to be excited at this point. I know it's a new era, and it's going to take some getting used to not having Nick Saban on the sidelines, but they got to be excited for what's coming in. Ryan Williams, Jalen Mbakwe, so good. Will be a pair for the next 3 years, hopefully. And I hope they will continue to dominate the SEC. I think Ryan Williams is a stud. I think he is next as well.
No doubt about it, man. And I got to ask you, for college football, I heard you talking with another fellow Crimson Tide fan, Graham, here in the office. What games do you have circled in for next year? I know you've taken a little bit of a peek. I know that Georgia game is going to be very, very big, but what are some games that you're just excited to see Bama take on next year, especially with the inclusion of a Texas and a Oklahoma?
There's a couple on that schedule. The Georgia one is hard to overlook as well, going into Tuscaloosa, but they have to play in Norman, Oklahoma, right before Auburn, and that game's usually a cupcake game, but now Norman. And also they go to Madison, Wisconsin, and I think that's the third game of the season, which should be interesting. A good out-of-conference opponent, and then they picked up Missouri and South Carolina as well. So it's just interesting to see them all collide, and no more divisions now. So it makes it for better schedules all around the conference.
Yes, it does. And was it real quick? We'll talk about it more, but what's just your quick thoughts on just that 12-team playoff kind of coming in and now expanding and the different changes in the NCAA? But how excited are you for that and be able to see more teams in the playoff can be able to contend for a title?
I'm excited. I mean, 14 playoff wasn't terrible, but 12-team is just a whole new era of football, and it's nothing like anyone has ever seen before, and it's not the same football we grew up watching like as during our childhood. It's a completely different game. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what happens. I think it's very cool that these schools get home playoff games. I think that'll be something great for the viewers, and it'll just make for a more intriguing matchups all around.
No doubt. And then going back to the high school realm, I just want to get one more your quick thoughts on this. Just you wrote a story on Kendarius Riddick, flipping essentially from Auburn, a rival for you guys, to UCF. Just what's the latest you've been hearing around just the state with guys and commitments and things like that? I know Hollis Davidson from McIntosh also just committed to Auburn, but what have you been seeing around the state with just recruiting news and updates?
It's signing day, so I mean, there's been a couple going on. I'm trying to find some in particular, but Kendarius Riddick, that was a big flip for. He left Auburn to UCF. I know his coaches loved him, said they were very excited for him, said he's a great locker room guy and he'll fit in there perfectly. He was at their junior day, I believe, last weekend, and then I believe he decommitted and committed on the same day. Yeah, so that's a good pickup for UCF.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, I've got a question. We're talking about impact freshmen. Do we think that Sammy Brown is going to be seeing the field this year?
Oh, what? Come on.
Yeah.
That's a question?
Definitely.
That you answer that yourself, Craig. Of course. Yes. I know they got Barrett Carter coming back, but Clemson has shown us, Craig, that if you come in, you put in this work, you are going to get a chance to play. Go look at the DB room, what just happened with them, right? Avion Terrell, Khalil Barnes, right? Sammy, without a doubt. I'm not saying he's going to start. I'm not saying it's going to be early on in the season, but without a doubt, he's going to be playing in some form or fashion, whether that's special teams, coming in as a third down linebacker, whatever it is. Sammy's going to get some kind of playing time. You just can't leave a talent like that off the field.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Go ahead, Max.
I was just going to say, I think he would bring – Clemson, I feel like for the past couple of years now, hasn't had that dominant defense that we've seen. And I feel like he's definitely going to be a key of that. And I feel like if he's not on the field, it'll be harder to get back to that point.
Yeah, he's just so physical. I mean, I think he's going to go in there, and the first couple of days in the weight room, they're probably like drug testing him. Like, how is this guy squatting like 700 pounds? Like, who is this like absolute beast? But I agree. I think he's going to – it's just going to speak for himself. He's too fast, too physical. I think he's going to make an impact. But who outside of the SEC do you think's making the biggest moves and could be the biggest threat these next couple of seasons if you are a Georgia or Alabama fan?
I mean, it's hard to not look at Ohio State with the roster they're bringing in and say, wow. I mean, they brought in Downs, they brought in Judkins, they brought in Howard, they brought in, I know I'm missing a couple, but the Judkins and Travion Henderson backfield is something to definitely watch out for. Oh, they brought in Jeremiah Smith as well.
And Emeka Buka returning.
Yep. I mean, it's hard to not look at that roster and put them at least in the top 3 of best chances to win it all next season.
And then what are your thoughts, guys, on the rest of the SEC? A team like LSU, Tennessee, is Florida going to be more competitive? Who do you think is going to rise this next year?
Florida, I like where Florida's headed. I think he'll be a good quarterback, DJ. I think he'll be good. I also like Nico at Tennessee. Just to see, and then he's getting Mike Matthews, and so he'll have some weapons around him as well. And I think Brew McCoy announced he's coming back as well, so they'll have some weapons and could be another explosive Tennessee offense. Yeah,
I'm gonna give y'all an underrated team to watch out for next year, and I think that's Mizzou. They had a really good year this year. I think Missouri coming back with some of their talent, landing some of these guys, these 4-star, 5-star guys. I think Missouri is going to be a team to watch. I ain't saying they're going to win it, but I'm just saying that's going to be a team to watch. And I agree with Max. Florida, I think they finally got them a quarterback. Like DJ Lab, I've been studying this film. Like the kid is next level, man. And I think he's going to be able to come in there and compete for a job. And I think if they could finally fit, and that's been the biggest thing. When we look at Florida, since they've won them national championships with Tim Tebow, they've had quarterbacks, but they have the legit star quarterback? No, the answer is no. And that's where they've struggled. I think they legit have a star with DJ Lagway, and they're going to be a team to watch.
And I know Graham Mertz is still there, and I know there'll be a good competition, but I think DJ will make his way onto the field at some point.
What about you? Who you got? You think?
I agree. I think Missouri, they do a good job. I mean, they know their identity offensively. They're tough, disciplined. They don't really make too many mistakes. They'll be tough, but I think Tennessee might finally put something together. I mean, it's like they've been good offensively, bad defensively, but certainly they've recognized those potential weak spots and are doing things to shore it up. I felt like they were kind of close to being at that next level, so it's not going to take much. But you mentioned Mike Matthews. I think receiver, it should be probably the easiest position to come in as a freshman. I mean, if you're an elite 5-star that played with a future college quarterback, he didn't – well, I guess he did, but he didn't have, like, the 5-star. But I'm saying, like, that's not that big of a transition. It really isn't. I mean, it's tough like a lineman, but some of these receivers, Trajan Greco, I think he'll be able to come in. But I feel like Mike Matthews should be able to earn reps immediately.
Yeah. Yo, building off of what Najee said with Missouri, Luther Burden is no joke. He is absolutely not. And having him and Brady Cook back is something serious. And I think, and they go to Tuscaloosa next year. And it's yeah.
Don't write that one off.
No, not at all. Not at all. No one can contain Luther Burden. He was so good last year. Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. No doubt. Well, guys, Max, appreciate you coming on, man. You were a very, very fun guest. We're going to definitely try to have more of you on our show. I think you just add a different dynamic as far as the college football world and can give your thoughts and your perspective, man, and on not just Alabama, but just the world as well and what you're seeing and your thoughts, man. I think it'd just be a great addition, obviously to our show. So we'll definitely try to have you on for more segments going forward, and appreciate you coming on for National Signing Day, man, and hope you enjoyed it.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me.
No doubt. Yes, sir. Well, all right, guys, that is Max. You can go follow him on Twitter. Wobe, not Woj, is his Twitter handle. Yes, Wobe, not Woj. So it's a pretty unique name right there. So go give him a follow. But yeah, that's going to pretty much wrap us. Craig, I'm going to throw it to you. Any final just thoughts on just players before we wrap up the National Signing Day special that you just want to hit on?
Well, you guys can check out. We have a database going with all the signees this year, and you're going to find some of the ones that aren't on the 247, the smaller schools, but a guy that I'm interested in that was versatile that we covered, AJ Watkins from Norcross. No one else we covered all year was just able to hit those home run plays, playing receiver, quarterback. I think he's going to show up and he's going to find a big role, and he was one of the most exciting players in the state this last season and dominant.
I'm going to tell you this. Jacksonville State is doing some work. Let me tell you the guys they got from our class from here. Justice Savage, AJ Watkins, Cam Lloyd. That's going to come out here soon. I'm just going to tell you. Wyatt Sonderman. They've done a good job of recruiting in our state. They're getting a lot of just underrated guys, and I think it's only going to take off for them. And I think they did a really good job. You're going to probably be talking about them in a little bit, potentially winning a conference championship here in a couple of years, and I think it's going to be because of what they did with that 24 class.
Yep, you got defensive linemen from Collins Hill. They were incredible this year defensively, and then the lineman from Amari Grayson paving the way for Jaden Duke Scott. So you're dead on with that. But AJ Watkins, guy's gonna have a big time college career.
No doubt about it. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate you tuning to this National Signing Special. We made it a little bit shorter. Again, a lot of guys have signed on the early signing period. That's why that one was so long, 4 hours long. This one's a little bit shorter, but appreciate everybody. Coach Syrup, Coach Carmichael from Jonesboro coming on, KJ Smith of Roswell, Jamari McIver, Savannah Christian going to Northern Illinois, Nebraska, Kearney for KJ Smith, and then also Jordan McBride going to Grambling State, and Coach Mill being on, and obviously last but not least, Max also coming on giving his thoughts. But that's all we got. I'll be back for my show tomorrow, Keeping It Real Najee Wilkins. I'm trying to get a guest on, hopefully another coach, and Craig will be back on Friday for his show. But that's all we got. Appreciate you tuning into the special, and we'll see you soon.